diseases in sheep in New Zealand that hadn't been seen around the world, and decided to come up with some solutions. That company continues now as MSD Animal Health, and the reason we like to sponsor the Young Farmers event at Golden Shears is because it's the young farmers who are going to set the future of the reputation of the sheep industry in New Zealand. And that becomes really important to us because the strong reputation of the animal welfare, the animal husbandry on New Zealand farms actually gives us as a manufacturer of vaccines enormous access around the world to get the vaccines that we develop, research and try in New Zealand into about 100 different countries in the world. And we would be one of the largest vaccine manufacturers in the global sheep industry. So by being able to support Golden Shears, which is an important component of the animal health and reputation of New Zealand sheep farmers, we're really pleased to see these young guys coming through and ladies coming through to contribute to the future of the industry. I'm assuming you now have the results, so I could stop talking and hand it back to you. But thank you very much for the opportunity to be part of Golden Shears.
Thank you, Sam. I think we'll keep you on. That was a marvellous effort at filling in time. Do we have the competitors ready to come to the board? The winner of the MSD Cooper's Animal Health New Zealand Young Farmers Blue Ribbon Shearing receives $350 plus the Joe Saba Cup. This was a tightly fought event. First place had penalty points of 28.7. Second place, 29.5. The remaining 4 places were all on 30. First place, in the New Zealand Young Farmers MSD Cooper's Animal Health Blue Ribbon Shearing, from Martin, Jimmy Samuels. Congratulations, Jimmy. You were here last night, taking out yet another accolade here at the Golden Shears, and here we see you once again on the board. You're becoming a bit of a crowd favourite with your big smile and your relaxed approach to this, but once again, congratulations.
Cheers for that, Kieran. I sort of do this for the crowd, really. So, first of all, thanks to Sam, MSD and Coopers. Without the sponsors, we all know what's going to happen, but thank you very much, sir, and to all the other competitors, awesome boys. And I'd like to say thanks to my brother-in-law Morgan. He sort of keeps me involved in all these young farmer events, and he keeps me posted with everything that's going on, and he teaches me a lot. So cheers, Morgie, and to all the crowd and the competitors and the commentators, cheers.
As we mentioned, this was a tight contest. Please congratulate second place, receiving $200 from Masterton, Ethan Pankhurst. Third place and $150, Brett Roberts. Fourth place and $130, Jack Fagan. Fifth place and $120, Floyd Neal. And put your hands together, making it into the top 6, Turi Edmonds. And if we could just please have you to remain on the board, please, because we also have the teams events prizes to announce. The MSD Cooper's Animal Health New Zealand Young Farmers Teams Award. First place receives $400 plus the Lister Trophy. Please congratulate Jimmy Samuels and Logan Kumura. I do apologise. It looks like there's 4 in a team. We apologise for that. Please also congratulate Connor Puha and Naira Puha.
Just a quick thank you from on behalf of our team, you know, the West Coast team. You know, we performed, you know, quite well as a team, and you know, we'll be back to defend our title next year. And you know, congratulations to the other 2 teams in the event. You know, cheers.
Second place, receiving $240. The East Coast team, Mark Baxter, Sam Baxter, Cullen Pritchard and Summer Pritchard. And third place, I apologise, ladies and gentlemen. This is always the risk with an instant prize giving. It's the South Island that actually came second. The East Coast came third. So let's put your hands together for South Island team. Ethan Pankhurst, Sarah Higgins, Duncan Higgins and Sam Gordon. So now that we've got that one sorted, how about putting your hands together for these young farming competitors? That concludes this presentation. We got there in the end. I'll hand you back now to our commentators to take you through the rest of the program.
Thanks, Kieran, and congratulations to our young farmers' teams are getting their photo taken nicely there, and well done to all those competitors and those teams, and of course the Blue Ribbon event, the Shearing event as well. Give them a hand as they leave the stage, ladies and gentlemen, our winners and minor place getters there of the young farmers' teams event. So just a couple of minutes, Gerald, before the next event. The next event is a senior semi-final, but we've got to do a bit of a test run on some of our computer equipment, so I just see, Gerald, you're talking to Jimmy Samuels and Brett Roberts at the end of the Shearing event, and Jimmy was telling you about his new baby, and a proud dad he is. Well, Brett Roberts also a proud new dad, so fantastic to see these young guys come through. We've watched them come right up through the grades, these young men, and now they're in the open grade shearing, and they're proud fathers and family men, so great to see these guys move their way up through the grades and grow up as men and people as well. So fantastic, young competitors.
Yeah, you did right, Norm. Hey, it's great to be you know, our competitive days have been there and done that, but it's good to have the, you know, a front seat, isn't it, as a commentator and still be part of shows and still contributing to communities as such and helping out where you can. And of course we get that pleasure of watching all these young shearers come through and improve and see what they're up to and catching up with them and starting families and all those sorts of things. So it is brilliant. And, you know, buying farms, it's great to talk to people who have managed to buy their way into a farm. I was talking to Matt Smith the other day, you know, not doing a lot of shearing nowadays, a top open shearer and a world record holder. You know, but now got a farm. It's just so good to hear those stories that they've, you know, used their money wisely and all those sorts of things. Because no different than a professional rugby player, as a professional sportsman, it does come to an end one day.
That's the fact. It comes to an end, and you know, that's the what these young guys need to do. They need to set goals. They need to have a vision of where they want to be in the future, and a lot of our young people are doing that. Just the same, like you say, same as. Yep. Okay. Thanks, Lance. So big thanks to Lance Waddell and the team up there, our points team. We're just doing a quick test run here with their computer gear, and we'll move on to the senior semis very shortly. So big job those people do up the back there. Gerald, the time and points people up there, great team and fantastic job. They do a hugely important part of the competition, of course, and vital to get the right results out all the time. It's not an easy task, it's a thankless task, and sometimes the odd thing goes wrong or a mistake comes through and they get a bit of a hard time about it, but without them, we'd never find a winner.
Yeah, that's right, Norman. Behind the scenes up there, you know, that's what do you call that? The engine room, I suppose. It's where all the points are coming and going, and we're under their influence once we get that green light. And then they're sort of hidden up the back, I suppose you want to call that. And then, of course, hidden out the back behind here, which the people from the audience don't get to see so much unless it's live streamed the odd time, is all the tipping up of sheep. Every sheep that goes down that hole, and if you take an open final, 6 shearers shearing a sheep a minute, every minute there's 6 more sheep going down there, getting judged and tipped up. So I worked out one day, I thought there was about 5 volunteers for every competitor around them for each shearer or each wool handler.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't be far off the mark with that, Gerald. I wouldn't have thought, starting, of course, from the farmers and the teams. So we have the green light. Well, we have the green light for our team points people. Thanks very much, guys. We'll get semi-final number 1 up on the stage.
Well, good morning, viewers out there in the World Wide Web, reporting here from the mighty Golden Shears in the Masterton War Memorial Stadium, and thanks to Noise Productions and Wairarapa TV, we bring you the first lot of champions this morning here at the Golden Shears, and we have the presence of none other than Jimmy Samuels. Jimmy, congratulations. Jimmy has just had a bit of a coup. There's 2 big wins here, and we're going to talk a little bit about them. But Jimmy, where's the name Superfly come from?
Oh, just a few years ago, one of our commentators, he left this morning, Jerome McRae. He's been commentating for the last few days. He had a favourite wrestler back in the days, I think it was the 80s, and his name was Jimmy Superfly Snooker.
Oh, cool.
So he seen me and he's like, right, this guy's got to have a nickname. So.
And you happy with that name?
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It's sort of, yeah.
Sometimes you get a little bit worried when people have a nickname. Does it work or does it upset them? But if you're happy with Superfly, we're going to call you Jimmy Superfly.
Oh, thank you.
Samuel. So, Jimmy, what have you won this morning?
Well, I was fortunate enough to win the Young Farmers Blue Ribbon event. It's this cup here, the Joe Saber Cup. And then our team, me, Connor Puha, Logan Kamura, and Naira Puha.
The Lister Cup.
We ended up winning the Lister Cup, so I was,
Are we broadcasting, Ben? Yes, I can't hear Jimmy.
Oh.
Talking, Jimmy?
Yeah, no, I got you now.
He's still a little bit mute, Ben.
But we're lucky enough to win the cup here, so.
Cool.
Yeah.
And with this Joe Saber Cup, I think it goes back to, 1961 when the Golden Shears started, and I think the YFC have been going longer than that, so I'm not too sure. What's the first date on there of the first winners?
1964. Went to
1964.
BJ Kidd.
BJ Kit, and that's the YFC, and this one here?
That goes back to 95.
1995. A lot of names on there, a lot of good names, and all champions. So Jimmy, how old are you?
28.
Goodness me, you're a kitten.
I feel 40, but 28.
Hey, not only that, we've got to celebrate the wool pressing, you and Jono.
Oh, yeah,
We've got to
that was
celebrate
awesome.
that as well, and I'm sure Jono and I was lucky enough to commentate on a little bit of your wool pressing, and we had a bit of fun there. But what do you love most about the shearing and wool handling and pressing?
Oh, just the banter. You know, it's quite a close-knit society. Like, everyone's close, everyone knows each other, and, you know, the work's physical, which is something I kind of need, really. I don't see myself, writing or filing something. I like to get hands-on, so.
Well, I suppose you won't ever become a lawyer at
Oh,
this time.
no, not at this
time.
time.
But later down the track. So congratulations, Jimmy, Connor, Logan and Nida for winning the teams YFC. YFC was founded, Golden Shears was founded on YFC. That's how it was in inception.
Okay, yeah.
And it's blossomed to that. And also winning the Joe Saber Young Farmer Champion. So it used to be blue ribbon, but now it's a red one. So congratulations.
Awesome.
Jimmy.
Thank you, Koro.
And there must be a shout out to somebody out there.
To all the family, the brother Leon and sister-in-law down south, Naoi. Cheers, guys. And my little girl down there, Jodie Ray.
Cool. Oh, there you go, folks, here from the Golden Shears for 2018. The first lot of the winners this morning, red ribbons. And if time permits, we'll be bringing up the red ribbon, folks. So congratulations, Jimmy and your team, and back to you, Ben.
Awesome. Thanks, Koro.
Can you hear me very well?
Yeah, I can hear you. That's
I can hear him.
I'm not sure, but you could hear yourself.
I could hear me.
Well, it was okay on the live stream.
Cool.
Because that's
That's
what
all
I
that
listened to.
matters.
Something's gone wrong. I'll have to find.
Yeah, I can hear myself.
You couldn't hear yourself? No.
Okay. We'll have a play.
There was some noise coming in.
Oh, that's just my mic.
All right.
Yeah, on mine, and it's not going to the live stream.
Look at
Yeah.
all the trophies this fella's got.
I know. Look at the silverware. They're going to fill that up with a nice glass or something later.
They won't let me.
No, congratulations. You've been on fire.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's great.
3 of these now. Thanks, Koro.
Problem is you have to give them back next year.
Hey, you in the next round anyway?
Yeah, I'm in the top 12, so I was so rapt about that, Koro. Yeah. And when they told me I was in this, I was like, I've got to have a warm-up. So.
Yeah.
this,
Well, we could be bringing you back.
I'm hoping I'll do my best.
Yeah, brother.
Thanks, mate. Cheers for that.
Yeah. Okay, Ben, should we just do a little bit of work on these mics?
Yeah, I just got to make sure I can test them without going anywhere else.
See, I've got just static on this one at the moment.
Oh yeah, that's not good, is it?
I didn't have that before, but it was coming and going.
Yeah.
Yeah, same with that one. No. Test 1, 2, no. Gone. But I can't hear myself.
Okay.
Good. Can hear myself. Good. Cool. Hello. No. Nothing on this one. No. No. Hello. Hello. No. No. Hello. No. Hello. Test. Test, 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 test. Diagnostics? Yeah, no, they've all dropped off.
Okay, and we'll troubleshoot that.
Cool. Awesome, man.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that noise was just from the
Yeah.
room, the mics in the crowd. So I just turn that off.
Stand at number 3, works his way down around the last front shoulder. Not panicking too much, this young fella. Belly's off into the first hind leg. Sheep number 5 on the board for Tegwin. And 5 on the board now for Lionel, but Lionel, the belly and most of the first hind leg behind as the top of the head comes off for Tegwin Bradley. Long blow time for Jacob Brunt, last side for Kieran Devane, and Sean Gerald just hops in and out of the pen for his 5th sheep.
Yeah, local boy, take a look at the points upstairs. I'll give you a bit of an insight there. At this stage, Gock still with that one to judge. He just popped down the porthole, of course, sitting at 22. So stay with it, Sean. Okay, it's not all about speed. We've got the penalty points on the board. We've got penalty points out the back and 1 point every 20 seconds. But if you can save those time points, it all helps, of course. And there's lots of ways to skin a cat. And Tegwin Bradley says, well, as far as I'm concerned, I want all the least time points you can have in this heat. As he bangs another one out. 5 out of the way. Thinks, right, I'm on a run. Pulls out a little beauty. See how it's all nice and open round the head there. Means the legs will be nice and open. He fired one on the inside of the leg anyway. Make it nice and quick on the last side. Belly's gone. Lionel Tomata's thinking, oh, you've got the pen, boys, or you're shearing really well. One of the two. Both I'm not really enjoying at the moment because I want to catch you. I want the least time points. Puts out another little beauty. Kieran Devane down the bottom there. He hits a long blow now. He says, I know I'm on what's known as the hidden stand. We know you're down there, buddy. Long blow time. He's happy. He's just working away. On to the last shoulder. This is where you got to do some half combing. Lots of little corners. You got the leg, you got the shoulder, bumps and bits and pieces. And you don't want to go cutting that wool in half. You see about 7 or 8 shots just in and around that shoulder. Now he's on to some of those big body shots down on the bottom stand. Out to the toenail as he goes and says, you're tidied up, I'm happy. Let's do a handpiece change. These are vital times. Richie McCaw always talked about crucial times in a rugby game. In this here situation, there can be crucial times. If you push your handpiece or you cut just the one sheep too many, Morgan, that can be the nail in the coffin, as if to say. It's like it can be all bad if you just go that one step too far. So there's a handpiece change on stand 6.
Yeah, it comes down to those split-second decisions. You've got to walk in the pen, choose which sheep you're shearing first. If there's a little bit of dust on one, you want to change your handpiece straight after. So you've got to plan it out, and then as you're shearing, you've got to make the decision which steel to use. And Kieran, he's done well there because that comb is flying up the neck and into the first shoulder he goes. I think if you look really close, you can see a little smile on his face. He's starting to enjoy himself. 6 sheep on the board. But Tegwin Bradley, away he goes. He's getting chased. He knows his sister's up next. He knows he's got to be fast and clean if he doesn't want to get beaten by Big Sis and ribbed all the way home. Sean Gout, we're having a bit of trouble with his last name, so we're going to rename him Sideshow for today and tonight in the final. Going hard into the undermine now, Sean. Ricky Stevens, he's right there, blow for blow with him. Sean's first to step up, top knot off for Ricky. Lionel Taumata dropping into the flank now and stepping over for the long blow. 7th sheep on the board, 1 more in the pen, but it's all Tegwin Bradley, Norm.
Yeah, it is Tegwin Bradley as far as speed goes anyway. Of course, quality comes into it, but the danger for the other competitors is that Tegwin Bradley's a good quality shearer as well. Way round and behind the head and into the front shoulder for Tegwin Bradley on stand number 4. Down comes Lionel Taumata from the south. Go the south, Lionel. Right out onto the back leg. We got my support, mate. Into the pen and out he comes again. Handpiece change there. Sheep number 8, it should be coming out for Lionel. So onto the board with the last sheep and a fresh comb and cutter. Oh, way down the belly he rolls. Wee bit of tension comes on. And Ricky Stevens and Sean Gout back out on the board with their 8th and final sheep as well. But Tegwin Bradley right out over the tail, ladies and gentlemen. Got a good commanding lead on the rest of the field and a very good, comfortable, controlled looking shear there for Tegwin Bradley, vying for a spot in the top 12. Well, that young man, he's done himself absolutely no harm at all. Chances are pretty good at this stage for Tegwin. Just looking at the total points up there, he's sitting on 40 at the moment. 1 sheep left to judge out the back, of course. We'll just watch with interest as to what those points end up on when they turn yellow. And the time clock ticks on, and so do everyone else's points. So they will end up over Tegwin's score at the moment, but it's only when it's yellow that it counts. Down comes Lionel Taumata. Down comes Ricky Stevens. So Ricky Stevens, good strong finish from this man. He's poured the acid on the 8th and final sheep, and he's caught right back up with there with Lionel Taumata on stand number 2. Ricky Stevens, Lionel Taumata on 3. He just hits the red button. Ricky just a couple of shots behind him. Over the tail, he's got a sweep, and then the red button time for Ricky Stevens. And a few shots back is Sean Gout on stand at number 1, right out to the toe, over the hamstring, over the tail, and he slides that one out the hole. There it is. Sean can stand and straighten his back. Just leaves our last 2 shearers on the board. Jacob Brunton on 5. Another couple of shots for Jacob, and maybe turning for home. And up the neck for Kieran Devane down there on stand number 6. Breaks it open and around the back of the head, so he's swinging very shortly round into the long blow as Jacob drops down over the last front shoulder. So a good first heat there, Gerald. Some good scores being posted there. We'll just keep an eye on them as they turn yellow.
Yeah, it was, Norm, all right. And actually, Tegwin did have quite a commanding lead. It was a good way of putting it, really. Had a good 3/4 of a sheep over those 8. There we go. Jacob Brunton's wrapped up. He's done his work. It's now up to the judges. And onto the last shoulder, Kieran Devane with the yellow starting to arrive. So we've got Ricky Stevens there, and he just kept at it. 45.5 points. Finishing touches are nice and clean by Devane. Look at that, folks. She's as pink as pink. He says, I'm happy with that one. Time clocked off. Okay, Morgan, we'll have that second semi-final up.
Yeah, heat 2. Morgie will get him up for us. Heat number 2 in the Powerco senior semi-finals. Good heat for heat 1. Some very good shearers lining up to hit the stage now.
Righto, heat 2 of our senior semi. Stand 6, Ross Thompson. 5, Rehana Hokianga. 4, Laura Bradley. 3, Jade Maguire. 2, Varney Stringer. And number 1, Naki Maraki. Watch out, Tegwin. You had the lead there, but here comes your big sis.
So another very good lineup here. Naki Maraki on stand number 1 from Flexmere. Vani Stringer from the South Island. Well done, Vani. Great to see you here in the top 18 of the senior. And Jade Maguire also from the South Island. Laura Bradley.
Kevin Applin out the back. Sorry, Norm. Kevin Applin out the back. Urgent, please.
Laura Bradley on stand number 4 from Woodville. Reihana Hukianga over from Aussie for this one. Great to see Reihana here. And Ross Thompson from England. Well done, Ross. Great to see him in the top 18.
Can we have Grant Smith to the announcer's desk, please? Grant Smith.
All right, we're just, once again, they're just sorting their sheep. The sheep have been well sorted, boys, as they always are at the Golden Shears. So we've got a big program to go. We're on our last and final day, but there's still plenty to get through. So we know the sheep are at a very high standard. In fact, one of the New Zealand manager, Ken McPherson, is in charge of all the sorting of the Golden Shears sheep, and he has got a very good eye on them. And he's been doing that for numerous years for us, so thank you, Ken. You've got a busy calendar yourself at the moment. And he might be judging. Oh, he is judging. He is up there. Oh, no, that might be Paul Harris. Rightio, we're looking good. What have we got? Naki, where is he? Still in the pen here, is he?
Still in the pen, sorting.
Rightio, we'll do the old trick of timekeepers. Well, we better give him a moment because it is the Golden Shears. We want it to... We're good to go this time. Okay, Norm.
So heat number 2 it is of the Powerco Senior Semi-Final. Let your door, guys. Timekeepers ready. Competitors set, go. And away we go. Naki Maraki, Vani Stringer, Jade Maguire, Laura Bradley, Roy Hunt, Okiang, Ross Thompson, all got to battle their way through 8 sheep, looking for a spot in the top 6. Jade Maguire from Winton, he'll come out swinging. This boy wants this title, that's for sure, and he winds his way up the backbone of the sheep on stand number 3. He's the first into the top of the head. Naki Maraki right there as well. Up comes Rehan the Hookyanger. Up comes Vani Stringer from Ranfurl. He breaks the cheek open and into the base of the ear, but around the back of the head into the front shoulder is Jade Maguire. If he can keep it together, this boy will be a big threat to the rest of these competitors. Way through the long blue he sweeps. Another couple of shots. Come on, Jade, keep it going, mate. Down under the cheek. On the last side, Naki Maraki winds his way up the backbone. So does Vani Stringer, the big fella on stand number 2 from Renfurley. Rehana Hukianga down there on stand number 5 from Australia, turns for home as well. So does Ross Thompson. Another shot and Laura Bradley's around, but Jade Maguire, a minute and about 3 or 4 or 5 seconds on the clock for Jade, and out it slides into the pen. He goes for sheep number 2, putting his best foot forward this time. Is Jade Maguire, Gerald?
Yeah, definitely, Norm. Well, they've just come out of the blocks, haven't they? It's like a 100-metre dash. Jade Maguire setting the pace. Catch me if you can. Again, the boys are going to start drafting him. Get him behind him. To the fertiliser works he goes. He's travelled a wee way too from Winton. A little place about 10 minutes to north of Invercargill. Up the neck he goes into the base of the ear. Naku says, hold on, young fella. There's a sheep too. I'm just settling into my work. Up the neck, he's trying to get to. It's a little beauty, but won't sit for him. Varney into the side of the face. Wool falling away as it should. Up and round the back of the ears. That gear is entering well and cutting rail. But at the moment, Jade Maguire is on fire. Onto the last shoulder he goes. On to the long blow for the rest. Bradley, Hokiana and Thompson. Round they go, the world famous long blow. They lie it down and start doing the two little ones. A bit of synchronised shearing going on down there. But hey, all the spotlight at the moment, smack bang in the middle. Jade Maguire from Winton puts out another one. 2 minutes 24, a bit slower than the first one. He pulled out the best sheep in the pen maybe for that first one. Wanted to rattle the team, I think, Morgan. Put a bit of panic, a bit of fear in them. Make them start panicking, firing shots that they shouldn't have to, trying to haul them back in.
Yeah, you're going to have to get up pretty early if you're going to rattle Ngāki Maraki. But Flaxmere boy, he's pretty cool, calm and collected on stand one here. The belly falls off. He's starting to flow, he's moving. He says, hurry up, Jade, because I'm cruising along here. A touch more tension and the undermine will be on the floor. Laura Bradley gets her third sheep on the board too. The belly comes off. She's a powerful shearer and she's beautifully clean. Her results, her board points and her outside points, they'll be right up there. So you boys, you got to keep honest if you're going to stay ahead, Norm.
You did right there, Morgie. Up the neck comes Varney Stringer. Up the neck for Laura Bradley. Already been there and done that is Reihana Hokianga as he swings around into the first front shoulder, but down the last side pours Jade Maguire from Southland. Right out onto the back leg. Another couple of shots. Ngāki Maraki on stand number one is turning for home down over the last front shoulder, but Jade Maguire finishing touches the sheep at number 3 out the hole. It's going to go in about 3 minutes and 46 seconds, so a minute 10 or 15 each sheep, and he backs out on the board with his fourth sheep. Ngāki Maraki is going to be the closest to him. Varney Stringer, last front shoulder there. So is Laura Bradley. Now she starts to wind into it. And goes Reihana Hokianga, sheep number 4 coming out on the board for Reihana. And sheep 4 coming out as well for Ngāki Maraki. But top knot coming off for Jade Maguire. That's where the pace is on stand number 3. Up the neck, strong competitor. His brother working well in the intermediate grade, so Jade's going to look to do well in the senior grade and keep the family tradition going of winning these big finals. Way through into the long blow for Jade. 2 short blows and a big sweeping blow right through to the base of the ear. Another one, he steps across and turns for home just as Ngāki Maraki steps up the neck. Reihana Hokianga, blow in front of him as he winds his way around the back of the head. And Laura Bradley got her 4th sheep on the board, so everyone's number 4 on the board, Gerald, but it's still Jade Maguire as far as pace goes as he pours down the last side.
Yeah, he's pouring down the last side, all right, right up to the toenails. Flicking the handpiece on his journey back. Says to you, a little wee comb scratch on its back. But that'll be judged out the, on the pins out the back there. He pulls out another little beauty. Into the belly while he dives. He's just going really, really well because we know his job's good. I've commentated on him numerous times and he's in a lot of finals. And this might be his hurrah. And he wants to really stamp his mark here today. 2 big blows up the back. Who's the next man? Hokiana's going to be the next man in there. But at this moment, Jade Maguire says, wow, things are just going well. My ducks are lined up. Round he goes towards the long blow. Pivots it round, lies it down. Maraki says, that's not happening. I am starting to panic. He couldn't get that ferro on there. At the halfway point, goes for a handpiece change, wants a fresh cut. Your tools do play a huge part in how well things are going here. You've got to have the right comb on and it's changing by the hour or by the half day really. If the heat comes out, you might need a thicker comb as the sheep gets hotter and then the lanolin in the wool sort of gets more pliable and soft. And when it's a wee bit cooler in the morning like so now, you need a bit of a pointier comb. And there's another change there. Jade says, right, I'm going to go for a fresh cut too. I think he's actually doing that just to test all his combs out at this stage. He's in a pretty confident sort of headspace at the moment.
There's a bit of sweat coming off that brow, but he has got a beautiful flowing style he's built up. Undermine the hand, there's a fast hand, but it flows into the undermine there. Right up the back of her neck, top knot falls off. Laura Bradley, she's clearing the flank and coming down the last side, headed for home on her 5th sheep. Reihana gets his 6th sheep out on the board. Ross Thompson, he's not far behind Laura there. He's coming over the brisket, and he'll clear that last shoulder and down under the flank. Ngāki Maraki drops his 5th sheep, same time as Varney next to him, out on the board of sheep number 6. Beautifully crutched up, presented hoggets they've got here, but it's all Jade Maguire. Stand number 3, he's really showing these boys how it's done. I think Laura put the fear of God in him. He knows he's got to be clean and he knows he's got to be quick if he wants to make that top 6. And look at him go, Norm.
Go he is, right out onto the back leg. Another couple of shots for Jade Maguire. Machines off and in he steps. Sheep number 7 on the board for Jade. 7 minutes and 50 seconds gone on the clock, so cracking pace from this young man. Leaving the rest of the field in his wake, but still you got to keep an eye on the quality. And where's Jade sitting at the moment? Looks average there, so he's sitting in the middle of the field as far as quality goes with a bit of speed. He probably won't be going too bad. One more sheep left in the pen and this one to finish off. So up the neck he steps. Varney Stringer winds his way down over the last front shoulder. Another good South Island sharer there, ladies and gentlemen, on stand number 2. Winds his way out onto the back leg. Down comes Ngāki Maraki from Flaxmere on stand 1. Right out onto the hind leg as well for Laura Bradley. So Ngāki Maraki and Laura Bradley stands 1 and 4. Having a bit of a ding-dong battle. Laura Bradley steps in first. Varney Stringer backs out with sheep number 7. Ngāki Maraki was 7. Rehana Hokanga, he's starting to open up a wee bit. Oh, got himself a bit of a kicker though, so that's going to cost him a second or two. Open up the neck and break it open. Round the back of the head he rolls. And Ross Thompson from England just having a bit of a battle with that one, having a wee discussion as to how it's going to sit. Right out onto the hind leg he goes. He's got it sorted. And into sheep number 7, he steps down there, the Englishman on stand number 6. Jade Maguire has to bring the head through. Sheep number 7, 1 left in the pen, but he still wipes the wool off the back of the sheep nicely. Out over the tail and into the pen for his 8th and final sheep. Rehana Hokianga from Australia, way down there on stand number 5, drives the handpiece into the flank and strolls right out onto the leg. Another couple of shots for Rehana and he'll be in for sheep number 8. Don't think he's going to catch Jade now, but he's definitely come back at him. Out of the pen, so Jade Maguire up the undermine and the top of the head comes off just as Rehana steps out onto the board. So Rehana just starting to get into a bit of rhythm this time. Varney Stringer winds his way down the last hind leg, another couple of shots. And he'll be looking for sheep number 8 as well. Ooh, that sheep lets him get those last couple of shots in. Cost him a second or two. Laura Bradley steps out, so she's starting to get into her work as well. Laura Bradley down the belly. She was behind Varney Stringer last time, and now she's in front of him. Ngāki Maraki finishing touches to sheep number 7. Down comes Ross Thompson on 7. But Jade Maguire, last front shoulder on sheep number 8, the Southland man. Out onto the last front leg, under the leg, and away down the last side, the big man's going to go. Wipes the wool off the rib cage, right out onto the back leg, and another couple of shots. He'll be looking for the red button. Jade Maguire all the way from Southland. Go the South Jade as he hits the red button.
Oh, well said, Norm. Wow, that's a super shear. He's a big, strong, strapping lad too, and he look at him standing out there. And Rehana, he chased him hard and he was actually winding him in slowly too there, the Aussie boy. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. He's wrapped up too. Says, right, is that enough? Well, we've got a bit of an idea for you. 48.6. Then the Englishman, down on the bottom stand. 1, 2, 3 big shots. He's going to have a quick last side. Top knot comes off. Laura Bradley says, well, these are big, strong, thumping ewes. I'm going to bring the head forward. I'm going to play the safety card. She does it, hits the stopwatch, and she is wrapped up too, hoping she's done enough to make the top 6. Ngāki on the front stand here from Flaxmere. Went for the handpiece change. I'm quite sure it's a very good idea. As Varney Stringer's wrapped up too, the sheep wants to go down the board, but it's his responsibility to put it down the hole himself. So he does. Maraki's wrapped up. He goes in for the stopwatch. That leaves the finishing touches on the last shoulder and then the last side for Ross Thompson. And he's got a 48.2 up there as well. Straightens out the leg, grabs a big hunk of skin with the left hand. That's actually the hand that does the most work when you're shearing sheep, as you're shuffling your feet and the likes. Finishing touches. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. It's a super second semi-final of 3 in the senior event. Powerco is our sponsor.
Heat 3, stand 6, Connor Puha. 5, David Gordon. 4, Cody Gregg. 3, Ramon Smith. 2, Paul Swan. 1, Barney Cummings. This is going to be a quick heat, Norm. And up after this, we've got our PGG Wrightson's Wool National Circuit semi-final.
Welcome back, viewers, and we extend a nice, hearty, warm welcome back to the Golden Shears for the year 2018, beaming live out of the Masterton War Memorial Stadium. We're getting underway very shortly with a very prestigious event, and it's called the PGG Wrightsons. And our special guest is Mr. Shane Cohen. Shane is the East Coast Retail Manager, and he's based from Martinborough to a little wee town, and there could be somebody from Matawai watching here, so that's the East Coast, and he's responsible for that. So Shane, welcome along, and thank you very much for just taking the time out and spending a little bit of time with us. You know this competition quite well, don't you?
I've been here for a year or two, Koro, that is correct.
Yep. And it all started back in Alexandra, folks, where they shore the mighty merinos.
That's right.
We moved to Waimate, which is the full wool crossbreds. Then we went across to Christchurch.
That was the OMP show there.
And they shore the Corridales.
Yep, that's correct.
Then we came to the North Island and shore the mighty lambs in a little town called Martin, and we had the winner from the YFC, Jimmy the Superfly Samuels in Martin. Then we were at Pahiatua last week, and now we've arrived at the world's most famous shearing show, the Golden Shears. And the semi-finals is coming up, and what a prestigious event this is, Shane.
Oh, look, we've been here for many, many years, and I know from myself and also you, Koro, going back a long, long way. It's been a privilege to be part of the Golden Shears, and when we took on the circuit challenge, we thought we'd bring something just a little bit different as far as a prize and an award for those prestigious shearers that travel the country and want to participate in this circuit.
So we're going in tonight. We've got 12 shearers coming up very soon, and tonight the prize package. What's sitting outside of the front of the stadium here at the moment?
Well, at the moment we've got a brand new. It's got 5 kilometres on the clock. Is all it's got. Is a brand new Hyundai Santa Fe.
Elite.
An Elite. So it's got electric everything. It's got a bit of leather in there,
nice.
For a bit of comfort for the old behind.
Yes.
It's got some seat warmers in there as well, just for those colder winter months.
Yes.
It's an all-wheel drive, very, very flash model.
Oh, cool. Well, we're not too far away. We've got one more of the Powerco senior semi-finals to get underway, but our special guest this afternoon, or this morning, Shane Cohen, area rural East Coast, and the Hyundai. It's about $70,000, isn't it?
Jeez.
And they get the use of that, a free lease for a year, isn't it? They don't get it, they get the use of it.
That's right. So between Hyundai and PGG Wrightson, we sort out the lease agreement, and so they just have to put a bit of diesel in it every now and again,
cool.
Just to get from A to B. Yep, that's correct.
Well, thank you very much. The PGG Wrightson's team, Mr. Shane Cohen, thank you very much for taking the time out here.
Cool.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Back to you, Ben. You got to count us out, Ben.
Solid man on stand number 1. Flicks it out behind him and turns into the first hind leg. Paul Swan works his way round through the crutch, top of the leg, and into the first hind leg as well. Ramon Smith just sweeps up the undermine on stand number 3. Top knot comes off. Top knot off for Barney Cummings and Cody Gregg as well. Already done that is David Gordon though from Masterton, and he's into the round, the back of the head. So's Connor Puha, this young man from Bolton. Worked his way up through the grades from a young competitor. Long blow time this time for Connor, and away he steps. Sweeps up the backbone of the sheep, but right there is David Gordon and Cody Gregg, Ramon Smith, Paul Swan, Barney Cummings, blow for blow as they wind their way up the backbone and turn for home. His cheek will slide off and they'll be down onto the last front shoulder, so nothing much between these shearers. As you'd expect, this is only the first sheep out on the board, folks. Barney Cummings from Winton leans under the leg. All the fribs have got to come off because the sheep will get tipped up outside, and then there's no way they can hide any shortcuts. Right out over the tail for Cody Gregg. Is he going to be the first in for sheep number 2? Looks like he is just ahead of David Gordon. David Gordon and not a lot between them as Barney Cummings, Paul Swan, Ramon Smith step into the pen, and Connor Puha's already way down the valley on stand number 6.
Oh, you can chuck a blanket over them, all right, Norm. She's an all-black forward pack, as I'd say, it's tight as that. I was interested, it's Ramon Smith. He got rid of that one really quickly, and he's doing a lot of what we call half combing, which, you know, you make sure it's really, really clean, but he was still getting them, keeping up with them. So down towards the fertiliser works he goes now, still doing the same thing right here, 3 big shots, or 2.5 up the back, but round towards the long blow. Cody Gregg lies it down, says, right, I saw how that Maguire done it, well, this is how I'm going to do it. And he turns to the last side with one long blow short. He's got a lot of work to do, folks. Look how far back he's having to go. He's got a lot of wool there, the old trick with the old shearing the sheep. You've got a small first half, you've got a big last. You watch him work here on the last side. He's left the door a wee bit of a jar for these other boys to wind him in. Out to the toenails he goes. There's a wee race on down on the bottom stands. Who's on the second? Paul Swan wants to join in, but he got rid of it. He said, don't worry about me, commentator. I've been round the block a couple of times. And he just improvised and said, this is how it happens here. It just didn't want to sit, so he shot and turned to the last side and then made it work from that moment. Down the first hind leg he goes now. David Gordon on his tail. Connor Puha on his tail. Big shot, and Connor Puha's got a little beauty down on the hidden stand. To the fertiliser works. 1, look at that. 2 huge big sweeping blows up the back for Connor. Up the neck he goes now. This is the shot when you're learning you don't like doing. Up and around the old jugular vein. You can't see where you're going. But when you're at this level, you could probably do it blindfolded. Up and around the back of the ears goes Connor. Spins it round, the audience starting to get involved now. They know there's a fair bit at stake. He hits the long blow, 2 little short ones, throw the leg over, locks it up. But Cody Gregg at this stage, last shoulder time, is it just natural, or does he leave a big last side? That might be just his pattern that works for him. And it's what works for you. Everyone's a different height, a different mentality, different strength, all these sorts of things. You've just got to work out what works for you. As sheep number 3, Morgan, goes down the hole, 3 minutes, 50 seconds.
There's some power in these senior shearers. Look at the arms on him. That Ramon Smith, he just does it easy. Either his gear's cutting amazing or he's just all strength. Look at him go. Ramon Smith, he's going to polish off his 3rd sheep and duck in there for his 4th. Barney Cummings has got his 4th on the board now. Belly comes off for David Gordon on stand number 5. Into the undermine he goes. Part-time builder. That boy can shear. He's been taught well by his big sister Kushla. And he's learned well too. Up the neck he goes, top knot off. Behind him, Connor Puha. He's up the neck and away. Couple blows ahead of David. Cody Gregg's right there, blow for blow with Connor. 4th sheep twisting into that first flank. They go now. It'll be long blow time for Connor Puha. I think he's taking the lead now. He twists for the last side first, and he's going to be flowing down there. That smooth, flowing lad from Bolton. Look at him go. I'm looking forward to seeing him step up into the open grade and push those older fellas along. Down out the last leg, Connor Puha, sheep number 4. 4 left in the pen, Norm.
Yeah, 4 left in the pen it is. Connor Puha shearing very well as he steps in and out for 5. I remember this young fella a few years ago as a pimply-faced little kid when he's shearing in the junior and doing the Woolhandling competitions. Great to see him in the senior. And like you say, Morgie, he's not far away from stepping up into the big open. So that's just how time flies when you're having fun. Down over the tail, it is for Barney Cummings. Into the pen, he steps there right with Paul Swan. Ramon Smith from Gisborne, another couple of shots, and the big guy's just going to slide into the pen for his 5th sheep as well. Change of steel there for Ramon. New Hampish, new Coma Cutter, and out onto the board he backs. But Connor Puha just opening up a bit of a lead. Ooh, just got himself a kicker, so that'll cost him a blow, but he's away again. Cody Gregg was with him for a little while, but Cody's up around the back of the head. Connor Puha just turning for home on sheep number 5. Down over the last front shoulder, he paws. Another couple of shots, he'll be looking at the last leg, and then the next sheep, of course. David Gordon from Masterton, the local hope, winds his way up the backbone of the sheep. Another couple of shots, he turns across. And up into the base of the ear, and for home is David Gordon. Down the, what they call the money side. Cody Gregg's right there as well, but David Gordon just starting to get into him as Connor Puha backs out onto the board with sheep number 6. Cody Gregg finishing touches to 5, and in and out of the pen he goes for his 6th sheep. Where's the rest of the field? Barney Cummings, Paul Swan, blow for blow still. They're having their own ding-dong battle up here on 1 and 2. Down into the last leg they sweep. Ramon Smith cleans off round over the front shoulder, under the leg, and away down he'll come. David Gordon backs out on the board with the next sheep. Sheep number 6 on the board for David Gordon. Cody Gregg, another couple of blows, and he turns up the top of the head. There he is, steps through and up the neck. Paul Swan and Barney Cummings out on the board, blow for blow. They have been right from the start, and they're still at it, Gerald.
Yeah, the hard-headed old Connor Puha used, when he got that real good sheep, he really used it, and away he went and took the front. Someone will be able to tell me this Gordon name. I seem to be pronouncing the Gordon name all the way from veterans to pressing to shearing. Are they a big shearing family in Masterton? Must be, obviously. The Gordon name is just dotted around everywhere. So he's busy there too, David Gordon on stand 5. Way on the long blow he goes. But yeah, Connor Puha, sheep 7, pulls it out. It's a good solid sheep, but nice and open. And here comes Cody Gregg now with a fresh cut from a sheep before. Pulls it out, lies it down, says, sit there, baby, just want your feathers. Into the valley, well, he goes. Ramon Smith, look at the relaxed style he's got. He's going to be a great shearer, conserves his energy, holds his body nice and still got a nice floating hand. Bends the head down as one should, it saves you a blow. In and around and over the shoulder he goes. Fires the shots and the audience are really starting to rev up too. Come on, Cody. How is Connor Puha going now round towards the long blow? He's on there, he's done his 2 to 3 shots, throws it over, locks it up. Round goes Cody now. David Gordon into the belly wall. Cummings, we know you're here, mate. You've travelled a long way. Barney Cummings from Winton as well. A lot of great shearers come out of there, and Barney's no exception. Brushes the wool off the inside of that leg. Into the belly wall he goes now. Last shoulder time for Gregg. Last shoulder time for Puha. It's a battle, a ding-dong battle as Norm calls it, out to the toenails they go. There's nothing in it. A final within a final. There we go. Well, it's not a final, it's a semi-final, but they're having a wee go. Gregg's now in the front. We have a new leader again. Puha says, right, who left the best one for last? You'll tell us in about 3 or 4 shots, I'd say. Puha gets the leg out of the way and the body out of the way so he can really open up that first hind leg, and he does so, and he does it well. 2 big shots up the back. The late Murray Christie would be really proud of those 2 big blows. He was big on that as a trainer. Cody Gregg up and round the back of the head, here he goes. But Connor Puha is responding to the whip. Come on, folks, get him behind him, Masterton. Connor Puha, Cody Gregg. Throws the leg over again. Oh, Morgan, you want to bring him home? It's exciting stuff. Turn to the last side, they're both together, Morgan.
Look at Connor Puha go. He's got a full comb and he's headed for home. Down under the shoulder now, clearing the rib cage down that flank. Come on, Connor, you got him by a blow. Cody, don't let him get too far ahead. Who's got the quickest last side? Connor Puha's going to reach for that button. Time taken for Connor Puha. And here comes Cody Gregg. Couple blows behind. It's all going to come down to the judges out the back. 41 and 42 points. I'm glad I'm not judging out there. David Gordon, he's got half a stadium behind him and he's sweating away. He's starting to puff a bit as he comes around the long blow, making the turn on his 8th and final sheep. He's headed for home. Down over Brisket, blowing around the shoulder. Ramon Smith's dropping into the long blow. Barney Cummings half a blow behind David Gordon. It's a race for 3rd place. Gordon and Swan blow for blow together. Out to the toenails they go. Down that last leg. Come on, David, hit the button. 41. That's a good time. He's a little bit slower, but he's Got the quality there. Paul Swan's going to hit the button too. No, Barney's snuck in ahead of him. And the Gizzy boy, Ramon Smith, he's cruising down there, that flowing style.
He's got a beautiful side more, doesn't he? Just floats around them.
Well, we're going to have a bit of a break, I think, while we sort the sheep out, because this PGG circuit final, Gerald, is 3 types of sheep.
Yeah, true. Yeah, small break. We've got a tight window, but we'll get a small break there. So once again, Masterton, please give your hands together for that was our semi-finalists, the top 18 it would have been of the senior shares. Powerco was the sponsor there, and a big thank you to you guys.
So me and Gerald are just discussing how to get into this PGG circuit final, the national circuit. So you have to attend quite a few shows all around the country. I know the Alexander show is compulsory. So these years, they've all competed all show season, and this is the final event, or the semi-final event of it. We'll see the final tonight. PGG Wrightson's a very generous sponsors, and they've fronted up with a car again this year, Gerald.
Well, yeah, the free lease of a car. I don't like saying this because it makes me jealous, but a Hyundai Santa Fe, something I'm desperate to get my hands on. I would like to be driving that around for a year. I must admit, I'd love to own one, actually. They're beautiful cars.
All for, I think, 85,000, you could just drive one yourself.
Yeah, that's right. You know what I was talking earlier about land prices and that? Well, I think my car will be okay, mate. The one I've got. But anyway, back to the shearing. Yeah, so they got that, plus, you know, all the prize money. Lots of prize money up for grabs. What have we got there? We'd have to go over to the final page, wouldn't we? But there's... The prize money is one thing, folks. And like most things, here it is here. The prestige and honour is far greater than that. The money comes and goes, and it does its little thing. But the trophy and the sash, well, that's a different story. But yeah, first place will get $500 cash, $1,300 PGG vouchers, and of course the Godfrey Bowen trophy for the best quality in that event. And there it is, 12 months free lease, Hyundai Santa Fe. I saw Rolly get out of it. It's in the car park there yesterday, and Rolly jumped out because he's been driving it the last year. And I thought, oh, Rolly, look at that. That's the bomb, mate. That is the bomb.
Yeah, Rolly unfortunately couldn't enter this year in the circuit final. His son was born the same day as the Alexander show, but it has really opened the field up. There's some big names. There's some big up-and-coming names up on the board here. We've got 2 heats, 12 shearers facing off. They're going to shear 3 merinos, 3 long wools, and 3 second shear sheep in this semi-final. They are allowed to take 3 handpieces up there because each of these sheep types do need different combs and cutters.
Yeah, this is a real test, isn't it? This is the on the way to maybe being a master shearer, that ability to be able to shear all different breeds, you know. The master shearer, and some of these will be master shearers, of course. It's bigger than just shearing itself. To be a good shearer, you've got to be one of those ones that helps the young ones and contributes to society by helping out around the place and you know, maybe going to pet days and showing the school kids how to shear a sheep and all those sorts of things. So, but you've got to be a full-rounded shearer. There's a lot of setting up to this baby, isn't there, eh? But it's worth waiting for, folks, I can tell you that. These are very accomplished shearers, very skilled. They are the best. And you've got prime seats. You can sit down here. You'll be no further than 10 metres away from some of the best athletes in the world.
So this merino wool we're going to see, Sean, it's going to be worth upwards of $20 a kilo. So each fleece, they're clipping 4 to 5 kilos of sheep. It's close to $100 per sheep per fleece. It's very valuable wool. So we've got our expert local wool handlers here. They're going to sort that, and they're going to make sure that wool's not contaminated in any way with the coarser fibres. So the pressure's on for our girls here, and you might see a little bit of stress on their faces, Gerald.
Yeah, true. There is that that other story behind all that, of course, the work that goes into the Golden Shears. We've talked about all the volunteers and bits and pieces, but the merinos supplied by Alan Patterson down at Ranfurly, who he goes and selects. He selects these sheep for the Golden Shears. He selects them, grows them out. They truck them from the middle of the South Island up here, acclimatise them for the last wee while, and they arrive here. In behind the scenes, folks, that's the sort of stuff that goes on to produce the Golden Shears. Can you imagine that, Morgan?
Yeah.
Middle of the South Island, hand-picking sheep for this event.
A whole year's work's gone into growing these sheep, making sure the wool is perfectly presented and the competition is as fair as possible.
Yeah, very true. And like Alan Patterson does a lot of judging and reffing and all sorts of things, but that's another area that he's done for, well, the family as a whole have done for numerous years, a large number of years, in this case for the Golden Shears. We'll just wait till we get the nod mainly from the wool handlers down here, and we'll get our first heat of two. 2 heats, isn't it?
Yeah, 2 heats. It's a 12-stand semi-final.
Right.
Congratulations to Sean Gowk. You've won a compulsory haircut at the barbershop. Come to the announcer's desk to get your prize. You have to redeem that before tonight, I've been told.
I thought Sean was quite short around the sides already. Is that the top bit?
Yeah, and the facial bit.
Uh-huh. That's the look these days, though, isn't it?
So just a couple of seconds, we'll have the next event underway, which of course is the PGG Wrightson's National Shearing Circuit semi-final, the top 12 of the guys that have competed all around the country in the PGG Wrightson circuit. And a little bit of good news here at the Golden Shears, folks. Last night was a wee bit tragic at the end of the evening when one of our competitors in the veterans fell ill, of course, with a bit of a heart problem. Me Noro, the first aid officer and the fire brigade worked on him and got him around, and he's fit. Well, I wouldn't say he's fit, but he's well in hospital at the moment, so that's great for me's family and friends, and of course everyone here at the Golden Shears. He come round this morning and he was hungry, he wanted to feed. I guess he missed out on tea last night, so great to see. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the top 6 in qualifying order, the Powerco senior top 6 that will compete in the big final tonight. Tigwin Bradley, Cody Gregg, Lionel Tulmata, David Gordon, Paul Swan and Barney Cummings. Well done, guys. They're the top 6, and we will see them compete for the red ribbon tonight in the big Powerco senior shearing final. Looking forward to that one, that's for sure.
I think that's the first of our finals not to have Ricky Stevens in it, so that makes a change. Hard luck, Ricky. Missed out by just over a point.
Okay, can we have the judges to the board, please?
Have we got a thumbs up from our sheep? Are sheep all good?
Yep, I'm quite sure. The wool handlers are right, sheep are right. So the first ones will be 3 merinos, 3 long-walled and 3 second shear. Here the judges go, they're arriving now. Another highly sought after ribbon, of course, is this one here.
Righto.
Multi-breeds.
On stand number 6 from Masterton, Ethan Pankhurst.
Give it up, Masterton.
On stand 5, David Iceman Buick. On stand 4 from Alexandra, Stacey Tahuya. Another Alexandra lad, Colin O'Neill on free. From Timaru and through. And from Invercargill, Nathan Stratford. What a list of names, Norm.
South Island names up there, Norman, there. Quite a few.
Oh, these old South Island ballers, they can handle the wrinklies. We've got some big old red-eye merino weathers in there for them. 3 of them lined up, ready to come out. They can chaff their way around these big weathers. Of course, these weathers come from the high country of the South Island. And a big thanks once again to Alan Patterson down there for sending these up for us. And of course the farmers up here looking after them for us as well. But a good lineup. So this is a circuit semi-final, ladies and gentlemen. The competitors in this semi-final competed all around the country, different competitions, and encompassing all different wool types. Obviously fine wool, full wool crossbred, second year crossbred, which you're going to see them compete with here. And there's also lamb shows that were in that circuit. So this is a real multi-breed event. It's a huge event, this one. The extremely coveted red ribbon from the PGG Wrightson National is a ribbon that's very highly regarded in the competition world. To be the PGG Wrightson's champion really means you're a true all-breed shearer, and most of our Kiwi shearers, they travel to Australia or down to Central or wherever, shear merinos, and they're all over the place, all around the world, shearing all different wool types. But the guy that wins this event will be a real all-round, all-breed shearer. And of course, we don't have Tony Costa for the first time in a long time here at the Golden Shears in this event. Multiple winner of the PGG Wrightson event was Tony Costa, so that opens it right up for all these competitors.
Yeah, Tony ruled the roost for a while here, didn't he? He did 5 or 6 titles in this multi-breeds. Tony Costa's age was very good for him. He just got better and better every year, didn't he? Incredible shearer. Has he retired from shows? Norm, I know you're good mates with him.
Yes, he's retired from competition. He does a couple of little local ones. He's done a couple of little ones just around like the Ashburton one round where he lives in Rakaya there, and but he's retired from travelling to all around the place. So the current PGG Wrightson champion is Roland Smith. Of course, he not in this one, but so we will have a new champion here. So the guys, it take a little bit longer to just sort through because they've got 3 handpieces up there, ladies and gentlemen, 3 different wool types. Takes a bit longer to get themselves ready, sort through the sheep. Stacey's on the board. Stacey, of course, is a real well-known merino shearer, this man, world record holder on merinos.
Of course, we've got... Sorry, Norm.
Sorry, Jill.
Yeah, Nathan Stratford, of course, past winner a couple of years ago.
That's right.
And
we won the Alex down at Alexandra there, the fine wool, New Zealand fine wool champs as well.
He's won that a couple of times. Of course, he jumped up in the final there with 5 Aussies, and Nathan, he was carrying the carrying New Zealand on his shoulders that time, wasn't he?
It certainly was.
And the merinos, and who won it? He won it that year, which is a huge feat. There were 5 Australians around you and a big New Zealand fine wool champs in Alexandria, and he pulled it off. But he's pulled it off here in the multi-breeds too, and he's on song because he's just come off a big win, the South Island Shearer of the Year down in Gore a couple of weeks ago. So you're commentating, Norm, obviously he had a good run there.
Oh, no doubt about it, yeah. First time he'd won the South Island Shearer of the Year, despite the fact that he's won most of the major open finals around the place, other than the Golden Shears, of course. And we have Colin O'Neill, Mouse O'Neill down there on stand number 3 from Alexandra. Very well-known fine wool shearer, very good quality shearer. So he's in with a good chance of getting in the top 6. So these are the top 12 folks looking for the top 6 for the final later on. David Buick from Pongaroa, very accomplished shearer. Maybe not as experienced as some of the others on these merinos, but he can really get around them. And defense out on the board. Let's get these guys on the board. Our referee. Just discussing with the shearers. Ellen, are you the referee? Who's their referee?
See Ethan Pankhurst, a young fellow on stand 6. He's ranked 4th coming into the semi-final. So maybe the least experienced, but a horse to watch down the end there.
Yeah, dead right.
Oh, who we want, Stacey?
Where's their referee, guys? Oh, he's in the pen. Okay.
Look, just admire Ethan on that big screen. He's prepped and ready to go.
So Willie's out on the board. Finally, all the shearers out on the board. Everyone looks reasonably happy. Antfrew's trying to talk the judge into not pushing the counter quite so much. And we have the referee's thumbs up and the green light from upstairs in the time points team. Heat number 1 it is of the PGG Wrightson All National Shearing Circuit semi-final. Timekeepers ready. Competitors set, go. Off we go. This is a big event, this one, ladies and gentlemen. The top 12 in the National Circuit Final, proudly sponsored once again by PGG Wrightson's Wool. Huge thanks to PGG Wrightson's Wool for their support of the National Circuit Shearing event. A few years now they've been involved with that. It's great to see them back again. Of course, they throw a lot at it. The winner, of course, gets the lease of the free lease of the Hyundai car as well. So just a good incentive for them. And Nathan Stratford just slides down the first hind leg. He's a very, very good quality shearer, this young man. Knows his way around these big red eyes. So they've got a lot of extra work to do. So there's the horn on top of the head that Nathan's working around, and the ear and the eye. And of course, it's all got everything else on its face that the sheep's got. And up the neck he goes. So they've got some extra bits and pieces up the neck, these old wrinklies. A big dewlap, a big hunk of skin just hanging, waving in the breeze. And they've got to work their way around that. Takes a long time to get around, so you'll see them. They're not shearing them the same speed as I'll shear these beautiful North Holland second shear ewes, that's for sure. Round into the base of the ear for Nathan Stratford, up into the front shoulder, and through chasing hard. Colin O'Neill now, Mouse O'Neill down there on stand 3. Vastly experienced on these merinos. Slides down into the first front leg. Just about lost that sheep, but he's got it sorted. Long blow time for Stacey DeHuya. There's a man to watch on the wrinklies. David Buick right there as well. Ethan Pankhurst round into the long blow. Who's going to turn for home first? Nothing in it really. Could be David Buick or Stacey DeHuya, but Nathan Stratford's there as well. David Buick, Nathan Stratford. There's Stacey DeHuya. Round, of course, they got the second horn to work their way around, and the ear. They got all the bits and pieces of these ones, Gerald, as Nathan drops down over the last front shoulder.
Yeah, they have. They have that big wrinkle up, and you and Morgan, of course, know a lot more about it than me. I was more of just a crossbred shearer, but it's a real art, obviously, of having to. It's not so much a power game here when you're shearing these merinos. It's the art of making sure the skin's nice and tight, and it's out of the way that you don't cut it. And I know the skin is very, very soft, so there's a lot of mind work goes on of making sure that you're thinking ahead of where you're putting the handpiece in your left hand and trying to keep that nice and firm. But Stratty says, see you later. Stacey Huia, there is nothing in it. Chuck a blanket over them.
You'd need a big blanket to cover that Stacey.
He's got a few muscles on him, that boy. You don't want to go falling out with him, I wouldn't say. He's tough physically, but mentally as well, isn't he? He starts doing those world records and that. He's got some physique, all right. He's a bit of a sunny bull, really, isn't he? Anyway, back to the shearing. Colin O'Neill into the belly while he dives. Now, I know, Morgan, you've shorn a few of these in your day, and you can talk us through, like the strategy with the neck. You can go up one side or the other, you were telling me one other day, can't you?
Yeah, so each of these merino weavers, their skin wrinkles are rather like fingerprints. They're all different. It's got its own individual pattern. And you'll see the shearers, they attack them differently. Some of them go top side, and they'll go on the shearer's side of a neck to get on top of that wrinkle, because generally there's a major wrinkle running up the middle of a neck, as Nathan Stratford's done here. If they're really wrinkly, you'll see Ethan Pankhurst, he goes across the wrinkle down on stand number 6. And very differing styles, because they have to it's a real jigsaw puzzle, as Gerald was saying before. Each sheep is different. There's so many wrinkles in amongst the wool, you've got to feel your way up there. And it's very hard to present an even line of merinos because of individuality, but this line is beautifully presented, and it's a very even field. No one seems unfairly advantaged here. There's a bit of horn on a few of the sheep, but the ones without the horn seem to have more wrinkle, or they might be a little bit tighter wool. A very even field here. Nathan Stratford's battling to get a lot of lead. Colin O'Neill, he was expecting to do quite well here and get a bit of a head start on the speedsters down the end. Those North Islanders, the South Island boys, normally we see them on the merinos, get a fair way ahead. But David Buick, the Iceman, he's done very well to keep up with him, and he's still got the quality too. Coming up into a long blow now, he's got that sheep folded down. It's a very differing pattern to the crossbred pattern. The sheep are folded up and stretched out too. You notice on the long blow, most of the heads are quite flat on the floor. Ethan Pankhurst coming down the last side now. He's going to pick up that leg so he can get right in underneath it and clean that wrinkle. But Nathan Stratford, been there, done that. He's got his third and final merino on the board. Now, there's just 3 full wool crossbreds left in the pen, and then 3 second shear crossbreds, Norm.
Yeah, that's right. Nathan Stratford, stand number 1. We're looking at from Invercargill, this wee man. Like I said earlier, he's won Alex before, so and he's shorn around Alex for Peter Lyon for many years. Very, very experienced on these wrinklies. Turns into the first hind leg. See the way he works the wool with his left hand. The left hand on merinos does so much work, just lifting, dropping, pulling, stretching, getting everything prepared before the handpiece goes into the wool, just making sure the skin's tight and the wrinkles are pulled out of the skin. So he works his way up around the horn into the cheek on the first cheek and around behind the ear, and up the neck he comes. So a couple of different ways they get up the neck, either the top side of the wrinkle or the bottom side of the wrinkle. And Nathan's the top side man, obviously, so he does all the work getting up both sides of the wrinkle now. The top side, the bottom side rather, was sort of possibly a little old school maybe. When we teach on merinos, you can teach either way, whatever the shearer prefers. But a lot of them seem to come on the top side nowadays. Up comes and through, working up the neck, breaking the neck wall open. Stand number 2, he's working his way into the ear, but way through the long blow for Nathan Stratford, so he's going to hit the crossbreds with quite an advantage on the rest of the guys. This is the last merino on the board, a good shearing merino too it is, making a beautiful job.
I'll just butt in there. So can we have Pagan Kororia, please, and Monica Potai down to where the commentators are, just in front of us, to catch up with Maury Gibbs, please. That's Pagan and Monica. Okay, where are we up to there, Norm? They're just at their work, aren't they, really? This will be the last and final wrinkly young Stratty down here. Beautiful job. Such incredible presentation of these animals. And then they'll move on to 3 long wool. Okay, so that's that tidied up. Stratty will do a handpiece change. Okay, the science in behind that for you folk out there is you need a totally different comb. There's 13 teeth on that comb. And when it comes to shearing one breed with a very soft skin, which is a merinos, to now a crossbreed, totally different. Totally different mindset, gear, everything. The speed your hand travel, it's all those sorts of things. As Stratty's on fire here all the way from Invercargill, from the deep south. Top knot's off, he's going to make use of this little lead he's got on the merinos, and they can really hoe it in or wind others in like a mouse. The chances are young Stratty here could end up finishing the same time as Mouse finishes the merinos, because there's such a lot more work to do on them, and you've got to take your time. And that's Colin O'Neill. Mouse is his nickname as I know him. Right, he lifts the leg up, Colin O'Neill, and on the journey home he goes. Stacey Tahuya, he's on the long blow of the first long wool. Is there any people in here from Masterton? Because your man down the bottom, Ethan Pankhurst, is on the long wool too. You're all hypnotised at the moment. Top knot comes off, and here we go. Stratty does finish the same time as Mouse. He's got one round him now. But Mouse says, okay, right, I'm on the long wool too now. So's Ant Frew. Tahuya. David Buick will be 2. Buick pulls out 1. He'll be saying, right, now this is real familiar territory now. I'm into it. Breaks the belly wall clear. Throws it out the back. These big long mauled ewes. Of course, Southlanders are well known for being very good on long maul due to the fact that that's what we share a lot of down there. We can get away with it due to our cooler climate where we don't get fly strike and the likes, and we'll do 12 months growth. And yeah, it's a bit of a different style to shear too, because the wool will actually come to you, which sounds a wee bit funny, but it's called combing, where it will actually come to you if you position it correctly. So David Buick, he's not a Southlander, he's from Pongaroa, of course. I just threw the 2 in together. But some of the great full-walled shearers from down our way. Stephen Dodds was one. He's a great full-walled shearer. But here we are, that's yesteryear, this is today. We're up here right now, and over the shoulder goes Stratty Morgan. And on his journey home once again, sheep 5, he's got 1 full wall left in the pen. The next closest man to him will be Stacey Tahuya. And I don't know if the crowd know, but Ethan Pankhurst is going really well down the bottom stand.
Yeah, he's a hard man to miss once he catches you high. Ethan Pankhurst is halfway through sheep number 5. He's got 1 more full wool, and then he's going to be on to his 2nd shear. And that's where the young fella, he's going to blast at them. David Buick, he's catching up too. Stacey Tahuya taking the belly off on sheep number 6. Nathan Stratford undermined time on sheep number 6. And Prue's coming down the last side on his 5th sheep. Oh, Colin O'Neill, he's up the neck and away round behind the head. Sheep number 5, well underway now. Stacey Tahuya, top knot comes off, up the neck he goes. Ethan Pankhurst, he's got sheep number 6 on the board now. The young fella, the Masterton young fella, he's been shearing all morning in the Young Farmers events and warming up for this. He's looking for that top 6 placing to make it in the final tonight. Long blow time for Stacey Tahuya as he steps over. Come up, bit of a wriggle there, but he's going to polish this one off and grab his first of his 2nd shear sheep. Right there with Nathan Stratford. He's eaten up the lead Nathan had on his gained on the Merinos. And through up the neck on his 6th sheep. A bit of a wriggle there for Colin O'Neill. Here comes Stacey Tahuya. He's caught up to Nathan. Quick handpiece change. No change for Stacey. He's happy with how his comb's going. That's confidence for you, Norm.
Certainly is. He knows what he's doing. Stacey Tahuya, of course, vastly experienced. Played this game many, many times before. Turns into the first hind leg. And slides down and towards the backbone. So Nathan Stratford right there. Nathan Stratford up the undermine. He sweeps. 1-2. Top knot comes off. He's the first to the top of the head this time. Stacey up he comes as well. Mouse O'Neill breaks it open, but of course he's on sheep number 6. Last of the 4 walls around the back of the head and through into the 2nd shear. David Buick into the 2nd shear. Ethan Pankhurst into the 2nd shear. Ethan Pankhurst shearing nicely. I might just chuck this one out there. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ethan Pankhurst in that top 6. He's just having a good shear, this young man. Well, he was, until that sheep decided to wave to the crowd with all 4 legs. Round into the base here and around the back of the head. Down comes Nathan Stratford. Right out onto the back leg. Another couple of shots for Stratty on stand number 1. He's a few shots ahead of Stacey Tahuya again. And in goes Stratty. Sheep number 8 coming out on the board now. 1 left in the pen for the South Islander on stand 1. Mouse O'Neill, he's into his 2nd shear now. Just settle into a nice shearing sheep. And away down the belly he goes. Finishing touches for Stacey Tahuya. And down comes David Buick. David Buick just getting into a good rhythm now. Another couple of shots. He'll be looking for sheep 8 as well. But way into the first hind leg and up the undermine for Nathan Stratford. Shearing nicely. You'd be game man to bet that he wouldn't make that top 6, Gerald, as he works his way up the neck. Shearing beautifully.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Norm. Of course, we've got a great view ourselves, only 5 metres away. And we're just saying, while Morgan was commentating, he is having a super shear. As he pivots around towards the long blow once again. So yeah, the ducks are lined up. He's going well, but hey, look, he's a very skillful, accomplished shearer. Of course, a current world champion in the teams with his teammate Johnny Kay. So He's having a really good time and been under a really tight regime for fitness and the like, so that's taken his shearing to a new level too. When he started training for the World Champs, he got under some real specialists with fitness and cardio and nutrition, and it's starting to pay off. Those little things start to add up to big things as Stratty dives in for his last and the final second shear. So yes, I know him well, and he said he thought he was fit, and he was, but yeah, when they really started sorting him up, he could get even fitter. And that takes, of course, a lot of self-discipline when you've got to get a bed earlier to go and do a bit of a regime in the gym before you go shearing for the day, and then going swimming after a hard day in the shed. That's a lot of self-discipline, and protein shakes in the morning and all those sorts of things. So anyway, that's enough about Stratty. We're going to hopefully see him again later on tonight, actually, in the big final. So anyway, it's up to the judges to work all that out now. Stacey Tahuya. Well, he's a big, strong, strapping lad. Look at the muscles on him, all right. Up the undermine he goes. He's in the place 2 as far as the speed stakes go. And then you've got your man, David Buick, a well-liked, this farmer shearing contractor, flicks out there and says, where did he come from, Morgan?
Look at him go.
Where did he come from?
He just snuck in there. And watch this, Ethan Panker snuck under your radar as well.
Where did they come from?
Come from Pongaroa.
Hey?
David come from Pongaroa.
I spent a bit of time on Nathan, but I didn't spend half a day on him, did I?
Nah, they've got a power of sheep out there on that east coast.
Holy smoke. I thought I had a sheep up my sleeve.
You don't want to accuse David of ghosting.
Oh. Well, Masterton, your man David Buick, I was just getting down there, has had a super finish. He's come home with a huge finish on that full wall, and especially second shear. And Ethan Panker is right with him. Stacey Tahuya is wrapped up now.
That's why they call him the Iceman.
I can't believe he caught up like that. He must have had a couple of rippers.
Yeah, no, I was watching him. I could see it.
Oh, yeah? You could have given me a nudge in the ribs, Norman said, Spaney, you're losing it, mate. I know you're from Invercargill as well, but you're spending much time on Stratty.
Obviously only one paying attention here, but come on. So Mouse O'Neill right out onto the back leg this time. Another couple of shots for the wee man from Alexandra. Over the tail, his quality will be fine. And out it goes. So another heat Morgie will be up next. Just looking at those scores as they turn yellow. Ooh, Nathan Stratford. Hold the phone. Very good score posted by Ethan Pankhurst, like I might have already said. I wouldn't mind picking he'll go through to that top 6, and he's doing himself no harm with a score like that. Second qualifier in heat number 1.
On stand 6, Ringapaiwai. Stand 5, Grant Smith. Stand 4, Pairata Abraham. Stand 3, Turi Edmonds. 2, Jack Fagan. And stand 1, a man to beat, John Kirkpatrick. What a heat. This is going to be fast and furious. Pairata Abraham, he's done a few years over in New South Wales. Over in Dubbo, he based himself for a couple of years there, learning the art of a merino. He's got a beautiful pattern on the merino, and he's got his gear humming. They've all got their free handpieces up there. They'll be playing around for quite a while, choosing their sheep, which one of the 3 breeds.
So just behind Pairata, he has been over there for a while, but that man on stand number 5, if you're talking about shearing merinos, Morgie, Grant Smith, he sheared them in his sleep, this fella. Before I was rudely interrupted by Brendan Potai, I was saying Grant Smith, he could shear these things in his sleep. Morgie, current world merino shearing record holder, 9-hour record holder, 418 of these big old red eyes in a 9-hour day. And it was done about 90 something, late 90s, and never been beaten since, but only because no one's tried. I mean, who would want to do that?
Yeah, who would want to do that?
You'd have to have rocks in your head.
I think the heat must have driven him batty, eh?
Yeah, no, I don't know. He was batty anyway, I think, that Grant Smith.
That's 2 days' work,
Yeah.
400 weathers.
So, yeah, he's a very, very accomplished merino shearer, but Grant, he's not shearing anymore, or he does a little bit every now and then, but not much. Shearing contractor down at Rakaya there. So he may be up against it fitness-wise, but very experienced man. And he's made this semi-final and the final many, many times in the past, this PGG Wrightson's final. So he knows his way to the top 6, but maybe it could be his day. They're not big final, they're not, 25 sheep finals. He reckons he could handle 8.
Yeah, and it does, with these merinos, the difference in the wrinkles that can come down to the sheep. There's a lot of raw talent, there's a lot of experience up there, but at the end of the day, they are a live animal. Righto, I've got the draws here for the junior wool handling final. Can you guys please come up to the announcer's desk? We're going to do the draw. Junior wool handling final. It's at 12:30. Samantha Baxter, Sarah Davis, Naira Puha, Summer Pritchard. The senior wool handling final straight after that. Sharon Tuhakarina, Lashara Anderson, Ash Boyce and Ricky Stevens. And our wool handling circuit final, Kieran Herbert, Cherie Alabaster, Monica Potai and Pagan Karaurea. That's 12:30 here for your draw, please.
Yep, so some big finals coming up this afternoon, Morgie, so those competitors can draw for their stands at 12:30. And just waiting for the nod from the referee. And we have the thumbs up and the green light. So this is Heat 2 of the PGG Wrightson Wool National Circuit Shearing semi-final. They all look set, ladies and gentlemen. Let's set them alight. Timekeepers ready. Competitors set, go. Away we go, heat number 2 of this huge event. Very, very sought after event. As you can tell by the quality of the shearers up there, there'll be a lot more than these guys entered in this national circuit final, but only the top 12 come here, the semi-final rather. The top 12 to the semi-final. We're looking for the top 6 to compete in this national circuit final tonight. And away down they go, these shearers, into the first hind leg. Johnny Kirkpatrick opens it up. He knows his way around these wrinklies now as well, and makes a beautiful job on everything. Everything put in front of him, just Johnny Kirkpatrick. That's why he is the current world champion. Jack Fagan from Tikawiti, up the undermine he slides. Tootie Edmonds from Ratahi on stand number 3. Punches into the first hind leg. Up steps Potter to Abraham. Opens the front shoulder up, so he's bottom side man on the sheep anyway. Up he comes, snaps it open, cheek comes off. Grant Smith, up the neck he steps. A wee bit challenged fitness-wise as Grant Smith, but he's still got the ability, there's no doubt about that. Breaks it open and into the base there and around the back of the head. Grant Smith will roll. Very, very good quality shearer. He's actually a master shearer, this man on stand 5. And Ringa Kahapawai from Gore and Southland. He winds his way up that wrinkle, breaks it open, and follows the rest of the field into that front shoulder. Tootie Edmonds shivers his way up the neck, gives a bit of a shimmy and a shake. And now he takes it to the edge of the wrinkle and he'll shear under the wrinkle this time. Tootie Edmonds, cheek comes off and works his way in towards the base of the ear. He's got to find the ear, of course. It's hidden under all that wool, the horns there as well. A lot of work going on, but it's last side time on stand 1 for JK, last side time for Parata Abraham. A long blow for some of these guys. But Johnny Kirkpatrick round onto the last front shoulder, and he'll lift the leg and clear down under it, and no, not really, he's just let it go again. Just comes under it like a crossbred, and away down into the flank on the last side. Parata Abraham, he's going to lift the leg. All the fribs coming off around the knuckle, and down under the leg, and away down the flank he'll go. JK, beautifully shorn merino weather there. Right out onto the back leg. Grant Smith, down he comes. We won't even have to talk about his quality unless he has an accident, which can happen. Leave a big lump of wool on somewhere, but I doubt that very much. Grant Smith paws right out onto the hind leg. The rest of the field down the last side. So J.K. Gerald and Masterton now joins him out on the board with the second of these big wrinklies.
Yeah, Pirata had some work to do on that last side, didn't he? Up that side of that big wrinkle up the neck. It's quite hard case how you guys, sure a lot of these sheep, how you could feel your way up that neck with that big wrinkle there with a handpiece that's really heavy and vibrating in your hand, but you can still feel that delicate skin. So that's the art of shearing these, folks. That ability, and it is an art. It's not all about power and brute strength. No, that doesn't cut the mustard with the merinos at all. It's a real fine art to be able to get up and around the neck. And I talk about the neck because I'm familiar with that, but there is a whole lot of wrinkles from woe to go. As you'll see Pirata there in and around the ears. There's a little wee horns and that in there. You don't want to get tangled up in them. It's not so bright. So he's going up the neck right now, and Johnny K's doing exactly the same. Jack Fagan on stand 2, down that first hind leg and down to the fertiliser works. Do you want to add something in there, Morgan?
Yeah, it's very interesting there. Johnny K, he went top side and Pirata went bottom side there. It's quite a differing style. So Pirata's dropping into that first shoulder quite a bit ahead of Johnny, but he went the bottom side of a wrinkle. So you watch him as he comes around the last side, that neck's only half clear. Two very differing patterns, and we'll watch it. It looks like Pi's quite a bit ahead now, but he's still got a lot of work left to do on that neck, Gerald.
Yeah, I see, yeah. Well, you can do that on crossbreeds too, but you do it just taking shortcuts. But in this case, it's just a totally different pattern and different style. It's not a shortcut. He's just got a lot of work to do. So Pi goes to work on it there. Turai. He's up the undermine. We'll just follow that through. So he's just firing those little shots in. Pi flicks the leg out of the way. Now onto the last shoulder and he's away. Grant Smith, the Master Blaster. Round he goes. And he can. He's just shorn all these breeds and just so good at them. In and around, under the jaw, tidies all that up. Who's on the bottom stand? Oh, well, the bottom stand, it's Ringa Kaha Pawai, all the way from Goa. So Ringa's given it a good run here. He follows a lot of shearing shows. He's a really good open shearer and helps out a lot around the shows, the day-to-day running of a show as well as competing himself. So he's a good man that way. So Parata made use of that wrinkly. Even going up that side of the neck, it's still panned out for him. So Johnny K on the front stand here, twisting and bending that leg as they do to make sure the skin's nice and tight. Working that left hand, you see him, you'll watch him down here on the front stand. He'll grab a whole hunk of skin and roll. There he is. He's starting to use the fingers now. See him, and he's rolling it over, bringing that leg towards him without walking backwards. But it is a very delicate area to try to get the sheep to sit on this last side. And you're better to roll it in with your own fist by grabbing the skin than actually walking back. So, of course, I'm not telling Johnny that because he knows that, but just a little bit of trivial information. So Jack Fagan, he's on the last shoulder too here. One left standing in the pen. He also lifts the leg. On the inside, on the outside, see that? Just flicking a few blows in here and there. Now he's away. All those little wee shots you've got to put in. You can see the change in mindset they've got to have from these here to like the full wool or the second shear. And we saw that plain as day. Some people have a preference, and obviously David Buick has a preference for second shear because he does a heap of them. Okay, a lot of North Islanders are exceptional at shearing lambs because they shear a lot of lambs. And you just get good at them. And of course the full wool down the south. They get very good at that as well. So Morgan, we've got Pies heading around towards the long blow on number 3 it is. They've all got their last one on the board and just, working steady. So they're ready to get the power game going soon on the full wool.
Yeah, because it's not power in these merinos. This is beautiful fine wool. This is going to be your nice scarves and your beautiful gloves. Merino, it's definitely under 20. I don't know how fine this Merino, these weathers are. Around that 13, 14 micron wool. Your fingerprints will grow back after a month shearing these. There's a lot of work in shearing them, but there's a lot of value for the farmer. These fleeces are worth over $100 each. So you see our wool handlers are very carefully placing it in, because they'll get thrown on a table and skirted later. Grant Smith coming down the last side, he's caught up to Pairata. He's got a good merino pattern. Under the leg he goes, lifting the leg now. And he'll come down that brisket. Pairata clearing that neck. Coming over the brisket too, but Pairata's within striking distance. John Kirkpatrick down the last neck he comes. Jack Fagan dropping into the first shoulder of his third and final merino. He's learnt well on these merinos, Jack, but he's been showing up. John Kirkpatrick, the master class is here on stand number 1. Under the leg he goes. Oh, Grant Smith's got his first crossie on the board. Change of steel, and he's into it. He needs to maintain that lead. He needs that belly off quick, because here comes Pairata Abraham. Ooh, come on, Pai. All eyes on stand number 4 as Pairata strides in the pen. His first full wool crossbred on the board. And here we go, watch those shears fly. John Kirkpatrick, change of steel, and he'll have his long wool on the board. Norm.
So the first long wool right out for JK, but Grant Smith, just like I said, vastly experienced on these merino weathers, no problem to him at all. And now he's into the crossbreds, and actually these are no problem to him either. One of the best all-breed shearers ever, ladies and gentlemen, on stand number 5. Just to tell by his haircut, he's had quite a bit of experience now in life. I'm not going to tell you he's bald, I wouldn't be that rude. Let's just say he's follically challenged.
I thought there was a solar panel for a shearer.
Yeah, no, geez. Solar panel. He's grown up through his hair. Down the last side he paws. Shearing contractor from Rakai. Right out onto the hind leg. Set something in front of this man and he'll just knock the wool off it. He makes an absolutely beautiful job all the time. One of the cleanest shearers I've ever met on any breed, any time of the day. Out on the board he comes. Pairata Abraham there as well. Out on the board he comes, so Pairata might have a bit more gas than Grant on these crossbreds, but Grant won't be far away come the end of the day. He can fair smack them out. He's shorn over 700 crossbreds in a 9-hour day himself. Works his way down to the first hind leg, does Grant Smith, opens it up. They call him and Tony Costa the Rakai Flyers. Of course, Tony's not here this year, which, like I said earlier, opens it up for some of these other competitors. Up and snap the neck will open together. Pairata Abraham and Grant Smith. Grant Smith has the disadvantage of not being shearing much lately, so he's a little unfit, but the experience is showing there. No doubt about that. And Jack Fagan this time, now he means business as he steps into the pen for sheep number 5, the second of his full wool. Johnny Kay winding up the long blow, another couple of shots, so he's caught Grant Smith back up as they hit the last cheek together on the 5th sheep. And down over the last front shoulder, the world champion comes. Right out onto the back leg and looking up top. The scores for JK looking pretty good at this stage. Hard to know where the judges are out the back though, but JK winds over the tail and out goes sheep number 5. He's right there with Pairata Abraham. A couple of shots on Grant Smith this time as Grant lets that one go. And to the pen he goes for the last of his full wool. Tootie Edmonds, sheep number 5 on the board, and he smacks around the back of the head, slides into the first front shoulder. Ringakaha Pawai down the last side on 5 he paws. The young man from Southland. Jack Fagan, last side as well, punches under the leg. But Johnny Kirkpatrick, a blow on Pairata this time as JK heads around the back of the head into the first front shoulder on the last of the big full wool ewes. Pairata chasing this time, but Johnny Kirkpatrick, he's hit the front on stand number 1, way through the long blow. He's won everything there is to win in the world as far as shearing competitions go, ladies and gentlemen. But this PGG Wrightson National Circuit Final means a lot to these competitors. And JK, you can tell by the determination this man's shearing with that, it means a lot to him as well. Right under the hind leg. Another couple of shots and Johnny Kirkpatrick, out the hole it goes, in for the second chair. So a quick change of steel. And this one comes out of the wee hole in the wall, and in he goes. Pairata Abraham right there as well. Changes the handpiece there for Pairata. Grant Smith slides over the tail on the RC. Has to put a bit of weight on it. And out it goes. He'll change the handpiece as well, and he'll be into the first of his second shear. So Johnny Kirkpatrick, now he's swinging into it, right up down the mine. This time 2 big sweeping blows. He goes for the top of the head, and then he chucks a big uppercut under the chin, into the cheek, and around the back of the head. Sheep's giving a bit of a wriggle and a shake, but it's not worrying him. He's just keeping that hand moving forward. Up comes Pairata Abraham. Now they're starting to get amongst it, folks. Sheep number 7 on the board. Pairata around the back of the head, but JK all the way through the long blow. He steps over. Another shot up the backbone, and he's turning for home on sheep number 7. Gerald, commanding lead of the stage. Is he going to stretch it even further over the next 2 sheep?
He's going a bit of stagger right. He's got those merinos out of the way, and he's underway. Look at that, just 2 left standing in the pen. Once again, that incredible pattern of Johnny K. Look at that. Every sheep exactly the same as the other. Pairata Abraham, the next closest man, hits the last shoulder. He's on the money side too. Edmonds, how's he going? He's on a sheep 7. Up the undermine he flies. Jack Fagan's on his tail. Up the top knot off for those 2. And Pairata says, I'm going to chase you because I love having a race. He's going to chase Johnny K. But Johnny K's up the neck with a little beauty sitting there. Into the base of the ear with 1, 2.5 really, and round the back of the head. You're going to have to give it heaps pie. Down on the bottom stand, we've got the man from Gore, Ringa Kaha Pawai. He's just doing what needs to be done down there, and Grant Smith pulls out his second last one. Into the belly wall he goes, top knot for pie. 3, 4, 5 big shots for Grant Smith. Round the old crutch area, now down that first hind leg, but onto the money side again goes Johnny K. Long blow time for Pairata. Johnny K. The spotlight's down here at this stage. Out to the toenails he goes. 1 left standing in the pen. Turai Edmonds and Jack Fagan thinking, oh, Johnny, you're on song, mate. You're going to give us the blinker. You're going to put one round as he once again goes into the belly wall, Morgan. Look at this man go. A pleasure to watch all these shearers of this incredible ability. As Norm said, this is the top 12. They've had to work really hard to get here, and now we've got to cut them in half. So I'll let you bring them home.
Yeah, it's a beautiful display. The differing styles, the merino, the short jabbing chip shots they have to put in to shear a merino cleanly, and then Johnny K, this perfect display of flowing, easy moving style. He's coming up the long blow now, and he'll make the turn for the last side on his 9th and final sheep. Johnny Kirkpatrick down over brisket. He lets that leg lie where it is. Doesn't need to pick it up like he did on the merinos. Oh, no, he does. There's a little bit there. Down out the flank and out the last leg. Here comes Pairata Abraham stepping over into the long blow. Turi Edmonds has got sheep number 9 on the board too, but time taken for John Kirkpatrick. As Pairata steps over into the long blow, it's a race for second place. Ringer Piewise coming down the last side too. He's a blow ahead on sheep number 8 though, Ringer. Here comes Pairata Abraham. He's flowing down. He's got the quality points. Has he done enough to make it? We'll leave that to the judges out the back. Jack Fagan's in for his 9th sheep. And time taken for Pairata Abraham. Grant Smith is putting a finishing polish on his 9th and final sheep. Turi Edmonds down the last side on sheep number 9. Jack and Ringer blow for blow as they go up the neck together now. Sheep number 9 on the board. It is truly, you've got to be a master shearer to be able to get up there and shear these 3 breeds cleanly. And at the pace that Johnny Kirkpatrick has done it, he's really set a standard here. After this, we're going to have a quick break for lunch and then welcome back our junior wool handling finalists and senior wool handling and circuit wool handling finals. If those finalists can meet back here at 12:30, and we'll get underway at 12:40 sharp. Oh, that's about in 3 minutes.
Finishing touches there for Jack Fagan. Give it up for Jack and Ringa Kaha Pawai. They have worked very hard to make it there. There's your top 12, ladies and gentlemen, for the PGG Wrightson's multi-breeds. Now it's down to the judges, of course. Super duper. So
we'll have a a little bit of a break now, actually, while we get all our wool sorted. We've got our junior wool handling final coming up. 12:30's draw for stands. I've got the starting at, according to my timetable, I've got it starting at 12:40, the event. So we've got a 3-minute lunch for Ricky Stevens. Then we've got our junior wool handling, our senior wool handling, our North Island wool handling champion circuit. After that, we've got our Maori Pākehā team shearing, our junior shearing final, and our intermediate shearing final.
Thank you. Right, can we have, it's 12:40 we're going to be underway and we're into finals, okay, 12:40. So we've staggered our lunches and everything because we've got a lot to get through. So as far as the audience needs to know, if you want to phone a friend, 12:40, a junior wool handling final, then a senior wool handling final, then a circuit final. So we need you finalists, you wool handlers, Samantha Baxter, Sarah Davies, Nari Puha, Summer Pritchard, to come and draw for stands here now, please. Right, commentator's box where I've got my hand up. Okay, come and draw. So we're going to roll on in 10 minutes. Now the senior wool handling finalists, please. Sharon Tuakaraina, Lashara Anderson, Ash Boyce, and Ricky Stevens. Also come and draw for stands, please. Yes. Nara Puha, come and draw.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you just cast your eyes up onto the big screens above the stage, the top 6 you'll see there in the PGG Wrightson's Wool semi-final, the top 6 that will compete in that circuit final tonight. Nathan Stratford, top qualifier. Your local man, very close second, Ethan Pankhurst. Johnny Kirkpatrick, Colin O'Neill, Stacey Tahuya, and Grant Smith. The 6 that will compete in that big final tonight. Congratulations to them. commiserations to the other guys, because we know they did a lot of work around the country in the circuit to get to this stage. So sad to say goodbye to those guys, but looking forward to that big final. It's going to be a good one.
Okay, could be another draw. Kieran Herbert, please. Cherie Alabesta, Monica Potai, and Pagan Kororia. Can we have you here for your draw, please?
Morgan Lissington, can you report to the microphone desk?
So basically, final. Yep. Yeah, that's right. And then the you need to know if we're carrying.
Monica Portai, if you can report to the microphone desk. Monica Portai. Junior wool handling finalists, can you come over and grab your singlets or your t-shirts? Junior wool handling finalists.
Good afternoon, viewers out there in the World Wide Web. We're streaming live to you throughout the world. Compliments of Wairarapa TV and Noise Productions. Here in the studio this afternoon, we're coming up to the first of the finals. We're going to get underway with the Rural Women's New Zealand's Junior Wool Handling Championship Final, and we're down to the top 4. And it's our pleasure to welcome Penny Mudford into the studio this afternoon. Penny, thank you very much for being part of the Golden Shears woman, and 95% of the wool handlers in the industry are women, so it's a good fit for you guys. So thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And how are you feeling at this time?
Oh, great. We've had a great time being here at the Golden Shears. So it's our first year as Rural Women New Zealand being sponsors. And we're delighted to be here. So there's a couple of awards that we've sponsored. And of course the wool handling coming up is one of the junior wool handling is one of them.
Okay, so rural woman, you've got lots of women's shearing sheep now, wool handling, and it's an industry that was really reserved for women, the shearing side of things. But we've got, for men, but we've got a lot of women doing that job now.
Yes, and there's something special about women in the shearing industry, that women actually compete right beside men. They're not segregated, and they're integral to the whole industry, and that's great. So I reckon that this sector's got it right from the beginning. It's tough.
Right.
It's tough. It's tough for women, and in fact, I don't know if you're aware that even I did a year in the sheds.
No, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
A long time ago in the days, that's how I earned my money to do my OE when I was much younger than I am now. So I appreciate how hard it is to work in the sheds.
Okay, well, just a breakdown on rural women. What's its kaupapa? What's its structure?
Well, Rural Women New Zealand established in 1925, so it was established by a group of very strong women leaders at the time who recognised that women were working on farms, and 90 odd years ago, women were still involved in breaking in farms, and they were very isolated.
Never had the vote?
Well, they had the vote by then, but they were working very hard on farms, and
Right.
what they didn't have was roads and networks, and they were isolated, having babies by themselves and not having support. So Rural Women, certainly in its forerunner, as it was called, worked to support women on farms to help them run the houses and have their babies, and we've continued, and we're still going strong.
Tino tau toko. That means they gather around one another to support one another. That's how I would describe it. So we're going into your final this afternoon, and I see you've got a stand outside in the foyer there. We encourage everybody to come along. Not necessarily women. You'll talk to anybody.
Absolutely. We've got some good brochures there with Farm Strong in terms of giving some good guidance for men's health and how to look after our men as well. So there's lots there on the stand.
And you've got somebody from Rural Women presenting the prizes this afternoon?
We do. So Fiona Gowers, our national president of Rural Women, and she's going to be doing the honours of the presentation this afternoon.
Wow. Well, Penny Mudford from Rural Women's, we thank you very much for taking the time out in the studio here. It's a little bit hard to talk to a wall, that's what we're doing at the moment. But thank you very much and congratulations, and we'll cross live now to the stadium. Thanks, you.
Corin.
Cool.
If we can have our junior wool handlers just...
Hello.
Okay, junior wool handlers, we're going to introduce you guys on the stand, or do you want to come off? Just come off down to the left, junior wool handlers. We'll give you an introduction onto the stage. So give these wool handlers a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as they take the tables on stand number 6 from Kimbolton, Wairarapa.
On table number 3, all the way from Rere Whakaitu, home of rodeos in New Zealand, Sarah Davis.
On table number 3, from a little place called Pongaro, Samantha Baxter, ladies and gentlemen.
And to complete this junior final, on table number 1, the sister of Samantha, Summer Pritchard, Pongaro.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we had a few problems with the sheep out the back. They didn't want to come up and get their wool taken off, but sorry, girls, you're coming up and she's a strip club up there. But here we go, our wool handlers are ready to go. We have the green light. Rural Women New Zealand are the sponsors of this event. They'll be handling 4 long wool fleeces, the seal time, 1 minute and 30 seconds. Okay, we're just getting our counters. Once our counters have been given to the judges and the shearers take the board, we'll get started. We're a little bit behind already, guys, so we need to keep things ticking over. Shearers to the board. Timekeepers ready. Okay, give us a thumbs up when we're good to go, guys. Yeah, we're good to go. Timekeepers ready. Shearers, get set, go. Well, Mavis, this is the youngsters of the wool handling industry at the moment. This is the junior wool handling final. Rural Women New Zealand are the sponsors. These wool handlers, they'll be handling 4 competition fleeces. Now, in around this table, we have 9 different baskets, and in all of these baskets, there will be a different line of wool. I think there's 1 spare basket, so they actually have 8 baskets plus 1 for maybe dags or anything else that might come up. So these wool handlers, at the moment, there's no other fleeces except for the one coming off, so they'll be sticking to their shearers. And there's not a lot of skirting that happens on the board, ladies and gentlemen. You're allowed to skirt the belly, that comes out the back usually. And in around the crutch, we have a bit of short crutch wool, a bit of sock wool, a bit of pizzle, and sometimes a bit of dag wool. So that all goes into different little baskets there. The shearer then moves up around the head, and around the head we have a hollow fibre. It's called a medullated fibre, and that does not accept any wool dyes. So if you get a black carpet with any of the top knot wool in it, you're going to have little white specks through your black carpet. It's not good. So that's got to come out and go into its own little basket as well. And then they get onto the long blow. There's not a lot the wool handler can do here except for move behind the shearer, keeping her work area nice and clean. They'll get to the last side, take the cheek off. That's a hollow fibre as well, so that gets graded in that other little basket. And they come down the last side. And here we go, Mavis, the first throws are about to come off.
Yes, the first throws. It's always a bit of an indicator. Let's see how they go. Nice throws. The objective is to get that fleece onto the table as flat and squared with the table as possible. Every bit of overhang or bunching, the size of an A4 sheet of paper, attracts 1 penalty point. There were some pretty good throws on there. If you noticed on table number 2, Samantha Baxter, she had a fleece that just didn't want to hold together. No fault of hers. It's the fault really of a great wool growing season. It just didn't want to hold. But she did a very, very good job of putting that on the table in a manner that allows her to find all those processing faults that Tuma has talked about that might be still attached to this fleece. These fleeces are worth, I guess, on the market today, somewhere in the vicinity of $4 a kilo, $4.20 maybe. Each one of those fleeces, probably you're looking at 3 to 4 kgs, maybe a bit more, 3.5 kgs. So real value. And the work that they're doing is to ensure that that value is realised. And we saw last night CP Wools here sponsoring the wool handling test. These are the entities that commit and make good for Wool of New Zealand. We've got the first fleece off the table, Tuma. These girls are not mucking around. What we have to realise, though, these are the kohanga. These are our younger, up-and-coming wool handlers. The second throw.
Oh, some lovely throws there. Sarah had a big old woolly monster, but she's landed it nicely. I think the best throw was down here on table number 1, Summer Pritchard. She had a very, very good throw. A little bit of bunching on Samantha Baxter's fleece. We had young Sarah Davis Mavis on too. Her fleece was fairly big. She did quite well to get it on the table, didn't she?
She did. Naida also had a very, very good throw down this end. And she's working very diligently around, making sure that she's back to the shearer when she needs to be, to collect and sort that belly wool, then to get into this undermine to make sure that all those short pieces that can be a contaminant to the main line are all well removed. Very diligent, very thoughtful work around the table and around these shearers. But each of these young women have been around the shows. We've seen them all. They've completed the circuits, and this is the reward. The reward is Golden Shears Junior Final. There's a lot of people who covered this. Lovely Ngaida, that wool off the table. She's first.
I just noticed Summer down here was working around the top of the table, around the neck, and she was trying to get a thistle out. Don't worry about that, Summer. We'll get it out after we've finished. So a little bit of VM maybe in some of these. I don't think there's a heck of a lot.
So VM is vegetable matter, and that's anything from a thistle to grass to scrub that may be in the fleeces. These need to be removed. They are a fault. Lovely throw there from Ngaira. She's getting that board cleaned up. Her shearer's gone back in. Nice, Sarah. Good throws down your end too, Tuma. A bit of bunching, bit of overhang, but on the whole, Pretty good, you reckon?
Yeah, pretty good. She, it was quite weak in the back, that fleece, and she actually lost a little bit. But not too much. There wasn't too much to worry about. It actually looks like quite a clean fleece. So that's a bit of a bonus. There won't be a lot for her to pull out, just a point skirt. But here Summer goes. She runs back to her shearer. These young junior wool handlers, you can tell that they've been watching the senior and the open wool handlers, because a lot of them, you know, they sort of move like a lot of these open wool handlers, you know, just a little wee bit slower, not quite so accurate, but that will come in time, won't it, Mavis?
Sure will. And each of these junior wool handlers will have a mentor, a teacher, maybe 2, maybe 3 of them. But certainly those girls down that far end, the Pritchard girls, would have had a lot of tutorage from Carmen Smith. Well done, Carmen. You've done a brilliant job with those young Pongarore people. Down this end, young Ngaira, her mother, Rose Puha, an open finalist, and her young brother, who last night picked up the Quality Award in the junior wool handling. So there is a lot of family involvement. There is a lot of mentorship that goes on. Sarah has had the benefit of working with people like Raina Watson-Paul and Adia Mullen. So, you know, they're brushing these things off and watching and soaking it up every minute.
Okay, here's the 4th and final fleece. This is when the real work begins.
Wow, that was a nice fleece, Ngaira. Nice fleece. Nice throw there as well for you, Sarah.
We've got a good throw down here from Summer Pritchard. She needs to move along a little bit. I think 1 minute 20 seconds, I think, is the seal time for these juniors.
Yes, and this is when you see who's been planning, who's prepared. It's been wonderful to watch Ngaira as she has put her buckets, her containers, she's making sure that they're out of the way so that when she gets to clean up, a lot of this is out of the way. She's the first to pick up the broom. Our other girls aren't too far away, but Ngaira's certainly on top of it.
Yeah, just watching Summer here. She skirted one side of the table, went around the other side, then had to come back to put her fleece because the fleece, her fadge was on this side. So there's something that she can work on a little bit later on in the future. She's only a junior, so very, very fresh, very new up into this wool handling class. And we see all these wool handlers at the moment. They're all pretty much neck and neck. We've got Samantha Baxter down there. She's on her hands and knees praying to the wool gods. Please, yes sir. Time for Ngaira. We've got Summer Pritchard here on table number 1. Have a look around. That's the way to do it. Anything the size of a credit card left behind will be 1 point. Time for Sarah. Well done, Summer. Well done, you junior wool handlers.
Move to the end of the stage, please, for the wool handlers. Once you've completed, move to the end so the judges can complete their judging. That was a great demonstration for these young juniors. They'll go back and they'll be analysing their performance. They'll be checking out what they can do better next time.
Okay, I'm just going to have a quick word to Ngaira. She's just waiting on her judge to see how her points were. Well, Ngaira, I think up there you were looking pretty sharp. How did it feel up there?
Pretty hot.
Pretty hot. Did you go up there with a plan? You know, like, tell us what was...
Well, good afternoon, viewers. We've just watched the Rural Women's Junior Wool Handling Final, and what a spectacle that was. I could hardly call it here. Normally you would have somebody that'll stand out, but I would have to leave that to the judges. We're now going through, and heat is being done. We come up to event 39, and that's the Te Puni Kōkiri Māori Development Senior Wool Handling. And it was seen fit that we spoke with Penny a little while ago, and the women in the industry are predominantly Māori, and there is 80% of wool handlers are women, so it's seen fit that Te Puni Kōkiri will sponsor this event. The champion wool handler in this event coming up is going to win $600. Second place, $300, $150 for third, and $120 for fourth place. And it's not really about the money at this level. It's all about the prestige of winning a title here at the Golden Shears for the year 2018. So, ka mihi te puni kōkiri, te komiti, nāna mahuta, te minita o te Māori, tēnā koe, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. So we're now going to go cross back to the stadium as the finalists in the Woolhandling, and I see we've got two men that have qualified, so we're 50% women and 50% men, and it's quite neat to see Ash Boyce and Ricky Stevens make the cut. Sharon, Tuhakaraina, not quite sure who the fourth one is, but it's going to be a good battle, and the Golden Shears 2018 Te Puni Kōkiri Senior Woolhandling Finals. Let's go back to the stadium, Ben.
Table 1, we have Ash, and I know Tom is going to introduce you all up, but can we ask you to set up as quickly as you can? We have a green light, so we want to keep this show on the road.
These wool handlers will be handling 4 fleeces. Set yourselves up, guys, and then come down to the left of the stadium. If you've got family and friends that can't be here, they can log in via the internet, www.goldenshears.co.nz. There's a few people watching. A little girl, 8 years old, is watching at the moment, Stacey Mullins. She's looking for her nanny. And she's here to say, Nanny, say hello.
Hi, Stacey.
Okay, looks like we're good to go. Wool handlers, can we have you down to the left and we'll bring you guys on. So this is the Te Puni Kōkiri Senior Wool Handling Final. Please give them a hand as they take the stage, ladies and gentlemen. From Invercargill on table number 4, Lashara Anderson.
Big hand for Lashara. On table number 3, he needs no introduction at all. Ricky Stevens from Napier.
On table number 2 from Gore, Sharon Tuhakaraina.
And on table number 1, all the way from Dannyburg, Ash Boyce. Good luck, finalists.
Can we have our shearers to the board? Joe Hopkirk, are you about? Joe Hopkirk? Joe Hopkirk, can you report to the microphone desk, please?
So while we're waiting for our referee to give us the go-ahead, again, we've said it a couple of times through the last couple of days, thank you to Paddy Mason and his team of shearers, competent, reliable. If you need a contractor, that's you, Paddy?
Timekeepers ready. Shearers, get set, go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start on table number 1. We have Ash Boyce. Ash Boyce is from Dannyburg, a little place just up the road, a Viking town. So he's got a bit of Ragnar in him, this guy on table number 1. That's Ash Boyce. He's been scouting the wool handling circuits for the last 3 or 4 years. I think it started off with him just going in the triathlon, but he found out that he was winning and going very, very well. So he's pursued the wool handling side of things, and that's the career that he's taking at the moment. On table number 2, we have Sharon Tuhakaraina from Gore, down in the deep south. Very, very good competitor. She's very, very sharp, very quick, very nimble around the table, light on her feet, and you'll see her, the way she works. She's I think she's been sponsored by Adidas. She's got those Adidas leggings on. She's a very good competitor. And Mavis, we've got Ricky Stevens. Ricky Stevens is he was a past winner of the triathlon. I think Jeremy Goodger won it last night. But Ricky, he made the pressing final. And here he is up in the senior Woolhandling final as well. And down there on table number 4, we have Lashara Anderson. Lashara, she's a heck of a little competitor. She's down here. She's one of these wool handlers that doesn't look like, you know, she's going too fast or anything. She's a bit like a little Ronnie Goss, but, you know, the accuracy is right there. So here we go. The first fleece is about to hit the table. Let's see how these wool handlers handle it. Ash Bell Boyce, he throws from the side. A little bit of bunching. Lovely throw from Sharon on 2. Table number 3, a little bit overhanging. How's it on table 4, Mavis?
Not a bad throw down here for Lashara. A little bit of bunching at the top. She would be, I would think, attracting at least 2-3 points, penalty points for that bunching up the top alone. Bit hard to see from here, but you've got Gail Haitana as the judge, Fiona Walker coming in. They'll be certainly keeping a very sharp eye on it. But yes, although there's a bit of a overhang for Ricky, again, you can see very clearly where the processing faults are. So yes, it's a hassle, but no, it's not the end of the world. And when you get a bit of a bum throw like that, not that it's that bad, you can recover. The big thing is just don't panic, keep your quality right, stay focused, stay with your plan.
Yes, a plan. A plan is what you need, ladies and gentlemen, when you get up there and wool handle. You cannot get up there and just please go in the right bin sort of stuff. These wool handlers, they have to be so accurate when they throw the wool in their bins. One reason is if you throw your wool into a bin and it goes into another bin, you are contaminating it. But then you also have to go back and get it out of there and put it in the right bin. So you're making twice as much work for you. So the hand-eye coordination has really got to be bang on here. Come on, shearers, let's go. Let's let these sheep go. Mavis.
All the fleeces are off the table. For those who are watching, have a look on the tables. How much wool was left there before they threw that fleece on? That's a penalty, but look at these throws. These are big, bulky fleeces. They've had a great growing season, so not a lot of binders that hold them together. And if you're not used to them, they can certainly upset the apple cart. But these seniors, they've got it sorted. They know exactly what they need to do, working diligently around. We talked earlier about having a plan. And if you look at each of the setups, they're all different. A little bit the same, but pretty much different, very tailored. And that's the edge that these competitors bring. They bring their own personal edge, their own personal thinking and planning to this as a sport.
Yes, you did right, Mavis. This is a sport. These are world-class athletes. You know, back in the day, people could rely on natural ability, natural talent. But nowadays, you see a lot of these wool handlers, you know, they're going to the gym, you know, doing a bit of running and stuff like that. And that's what you have to do. If you want to be in the elite, you know, you've got to train like a sportsman. And that's what these guys do. As if working in the sheds is not hard enough, these guys are going to the gym or going to the pool for an hour after work. You know, they're amazing, amazing athletes, a lot of these wool handlers. And here we go, coming down the last side of these shearers. A lot of pressure coming on these wool handlers, but come on, wool handlers, you've got to soak it up. Ricky Stevens, roll up time for him. Ash Boyce runs back. Okay, this is sheep number 3, so there's another one in the pen. Here we go, Ash Boyce. He likes to throw from the side. You'll see him, he moves down the side, throws it. Lovely, well done, Ash Boyce. He'll be sighing a breath of relief. He's been having a hard time. Table number 2, there's a bit of bunching, a bit of overhang, so she'll be losing a few points. Ricky Stevens, Mavis, his fleece looks a little big.
Yeah, Ricky probably is a little bit disappointed at that throw. He landed it okay, but it's a big fleece, and I don't know, either the fleeces are getting bigger or the tables are getting smaller, but something's going on there. It was a little bit the same with Lashara. I think the best fleece from this point of view certainly was from down on table 1, Ash Boyce. They're coming to their last fleece, so they're thinking ahead. Not only are they planning here, but they're trying to think ahead. How am I going to, what's my next move? How do I get the most out of this cleanup? I guess the other thing that's really good to mention, we talked about this being a sport, but how many sports add to the New Zealand economy? The wool still adds just under $1 billion of export earnings a year. Not too many sports can claim that, but back they go. Looking to get every bit of processing fault out of that. Rolling up. See how they're prepared to leave the table to make sure that they get those medullated fibres from that neck wool out. Now we have the roll. Fleeces, tables are all clear. Ready for the next fleece and thinking certainly ahead to that cleanup. Here we go. How's it looking?
Lovely throw from Sharon on 2. Good throw on 3. Oh, Ash boys, that's a beauty. All right, 1 minute and 20 seconds. Let's see what these wool handlers can do. Now's when the pressure comes on. Once the 1 minute 20 seconds is passed, it's 1 point per second. Ash Boyce, he won the pre-shares only on Wednesday. He'll be wanting to back it up with the Golden Shears red ribbon around his waist as well. Here he goes, one side of the table. He's moving down the other side. He is giving it heaps. But Sharon from the Gore, roll-up time from Lashara. These South Islanders are giving it to the North Islanders. Come on, Ash Boyce. Mavis, these boys can't keep up.
Oh, Lashara's, she is moving smoothly. She's got it sorted. She's having a great time. She's got her game face on. She's breathing hard. She's got the glow going on as well. Who's prepared the best? Who's really thought about this cleanup? We're about to find out. Separating those second pieces in locks now.
Ash Boyce uses his hip, he pushes the table over, but the South Island girls are probably about 15, 20 seconds ahead. Here we go, time on table 2.
Beautiful finish from those two South Island competitors. But is their cleanup enough? Have they done enough? Is their quality enough? We'll soon find out.
Around. There we go, time for Ash. There's a bit of sweat flowing up there. I'm just going to...
Yep, it's not for the faint-hearted. Not only are you concentrating very hard, but honestly, those lights up there, they're enough to make you sweat all right.
Well, good afternoon, viewers out there in the World Wide Web, beaming live from the 2018 Golden Shears here in the Masterton War Memorial Stadium on a very well, I suppose it is mildly warm, almost hot in Masterton, but it is certainly a nice day out there. And we're getting through the wool handling finals now. We've seen the Rural Women's Junior Wool Handling, the Te Puni Kōkiri Take Māori Senior Wool Handling, and now we come to some North Island Circuit Wool Handling. And our guest in the studio this afternoon is Shannon Bradshaw, Nee Gibbs. So Shannon is the daughter of Maori and Mr. Gibbs, and I think we should say the Gibbs family have been in this business for a long time. So Shannon, welcome.
Thank
and
you.
A couple of questions. How long has Gibbs honeybees been around?
So we're actually the longest operation of commercial beekeeping in the Wairarapa, and we're celebrating 30 years this year. So yeah, pretty excited about that.
30 years.
30 years.
You don't look 30.
Well, I haven't been in the business for 30 years, but it was certainly my father's brainchild. So that's 30 years this year.
Cool. And is it a good business?
It's a fantastic business. We pride ourselves on getting some of the best Manuka honey in New Zealand, and it supports our family and a few local boys as well. So, and not to mention the businesses that we also work with. So, it's absolutely a good business.
So, what's the term? Is it MF or something? What do they say when it's got the good content of
the Manuka factor, the UMF?
UMF, that's the word, and
yes.
that means the higher the UMF, the better the honey.
The unique Manuka factor, that's right.
Wow. Okay, well, it's a long-term business, 30-odd years. Hey, why sponsor a competition like we've got bees now? We're working with wool. Why? Where's the fit?
So before my father had dreamed up this business, he was actually a shearer for most of my childhood, and my mother also worked in the wool sheds. Needless to say, we were carted around the shearing shows while we were younger. So and Mum's still a judge, and she loves it. So it's a no-brainer for us to sponsor an event like this.
That's how these families roll, folks out there. It's all starts when you're young through the kohanga stages, and we've got Shannon, who's now a midwife.
Yes.
And she's dealing to mothers that are just about giving birth, and
Yes.
and what a wonderful vocation. And she knows our daughter Karina Mullins very well, so Karina
do.
might be tuned in. So
Kia ora, Karina.
Kia ora, we'll make a shout out for her. Hey, but the prize this afternoon, the top prize is $800. What a
Yes.
fantastic prize, isn't it?
Yes, and it's well deserved, I must say. These women are amazing, and we're in absolute awe of them. So, why wouldn't we?
Okay, well there you go, folks. We're just about ready to cross to back to the stadium where the Gibbs Honeybees, Colin Murray and Shannon. Is there anybody else in the Gibbs family?
Everybody.
No, who, brothers and sisters?
Yeah, my brothers, my brother-in-law,
their
my
names?
cousins, all of them.
No, just your brothers and sisters.
Oh, Darcy, Jake, and Samantha.
Oh, so hopefully they've tuned in, watched this, because
Yeah.
this goes out live, and last year the Golden Shears had 75,000 views.
Wow.
So it is big business. And thank you, Ben. We will now cross back to the stadium, and thank you, Shannon Bradshaw,
No
Neil
worries.
Gibbs.
Thank you.
Cool.
The stadium, left of the stage, our left, your right. Depends which way you're facing. We've got 2 more junior shearing finalists that we need here to check in to draw for stands. Daniel and Ruben. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring these wool handlers on. On table number 4 from Te Awamutu. Give her a hand, ladies and gentlemen, Karen Herbert.
Come on, people, you can do better than that. They've travelled the North Island. On table number 3, from Taihape, Cherie Alabaster.
On table number 2, from Alexandra, Pagan Karudia.
And from Milton and Coromandel, let's have Monica Portai to the stand. Good luck, competitors.
Okay, wool handlers, what you're to do is you're to blend your fleeces. Okay, tidy up around it, then put your hand up so your time is taken, and then we'll put the wool in the fadge.
What's up, bro?
Shearers to the board. Timekeepers ready. Shearers, get set, go.
All right, this is a big one. This is a big one. This is of some standing in the wool handling calendar to actually be a member of the New Zealand Trans-Tasman team, to be in a final at Golden Shears, North Island Circuit. These competitors are rewarded for the miles that they've done through the season. And exciting it is for them. We've talked a little bit all through the day, or through the Open, about these competitors, but if you haven't been listening or you've just tuned in, welcome to this final. Welcome to Golden Shears 2018 as we work our way to the big night tonight. But on stand number 1, Monica Portai, a competitor with a whole lot of whakapapa in the shearing industry, whether it's her mother or her granduncles or grandfather. They're all there, her grandparents. Lovely to have Monica in this final. She's a strong competitor and moves not just through the North Island, but north and south. I guess the same goes for Pagan Karodia. Probably coming up to a wedding anniversary very soon, I might say. Daughter of Dion Morel, daughter of Tina Lemene. Couldn't get any better than that. And then, of course, on number 3, we've got Cherie Alabaster, Her father graced these boards many, many times in the open shearing. But here's Kieran. Let's see what Kieran can do. First to turn. Yes. Very good throw. Little wee bit of over, just some stuff dropped off the end. A little bit of bunching. Cherie will be a little bit disappointed in that one. Over the side a bit, but hey, you know, she's experienced. She's got it. Tuma.
She has got it. Pagan Kurodia walks around the top of the fleece. Neck wool coming out. Monica's right there with her as well. You know, these wool handlers, they got one eye on the fleece, one eye on the bin, one eye on the shearer. They've got three eyes. These wool handlers, they're a rare breed, but they are bred that way. And up to the undermine work, these shearers, up the neck they go. Wool handlers are right there with them. We're putting on some good heat on these wool handlers. These wool handlers, ladies and gentlemen, will be handling two different grades of wool, long wool and second shear. They'll have a 15-second countdown.
I'd just like to call the Maori Pākehā teams event up next. Brett Roberts, Bevan Perry, Robert Mudgeway, Ethan Pankhurst, Hayden Tapp and Darren Alexander. Can you guys get ready and assemble on the side of a stage, please? Cheers, Toma.
Well, Toma just come in there and here we are, this wool handling. Just want to say that Kieran Herbert, she's right out to get it at the moment. She's already been in the team 3 times before, I believe. Cherie twice, 3 times. Pagan and Monica, they'll be looking to win this. They're after that New Zealand Blazer. Pagan and Monica strong, but Kieran Herbert, Cherie Alabaster, these girls are on form, and look at it. There's a lot of pressure showing and the throws come along the table, and you be the judge, folks. It's all coming down to the control. Cherie, she lays it out beautiful. Very challenging there, but you know, this is just the name of the game.
Bevan Perry, can we have Bevan Perry to be announcer's desk, please? Bevan Perry.
Okay, we're looking at these wool handlers. Monica Portai, she looked like she had a fleece she could have blended. It was a terrible fleece, but it all landed on the table. All the faults were visible, so she didn't have to go searching for it, which is quite a big thing. The shearers are all taking the top knot off. There's the modulated fibres coming off, getting put into one bin. Sock wool, maybe a little bit of stain, a bit of short wool around there. Into the air they go. The wool handlers need to grab that little bit of cheek wool as well. It's not to touch the main fleece wool. It's classed as a contamination. But here we go. Wool handlers working away. Kieran Herbert, she reckons, I'm happy with this roll-up time for her. Cherie Alabaster, she's got a little bit of a dirtier looking fleece. Maybe that sheep was rolling around in the dirt. And she goes, rolls it up. Monique here on table number 1. She knows that the second shear are going to be coming out soon. She doesn't want to cross-contaminate the wool. So there she goes. All these wool handlers are all on the same path. Once the shearer finishes sheep, there will be a 15-second countdown. Here we go. The countdown will begin shortly. Gerald, once they pull the cords. Okay, here we go. 15 seconds, ladies and gentlemen.
Last to the full ball.
15. 14.
4 beautiful throws. But these
13.
ball handlers now, they're on it.
12.
They've got 12 more seconds. It's
11.
going. And these shearers
10.
are ruthless. When
9.
it gets to naught, they'll be out.
8. 7.
This is the pressure that happens in a
6.
bull shed.
5.
Who's on it?
4.
Who's going to make it?
3.
Who's not?
2. 1. Shearers to the board.
Oh, he's still got a bit of wool on the table. Kieran Herbert, I think, the two that are a bit longer in the teeth, Mavis, they've managed to get rid of their fleeces.
So each of these competitors were able to plan out their own strategy in terms of how they were going to manage that. You can see what the different strategies are. Monica and Kieran certainly are looking at how they can maximise their space by turning their tables. Cherie and Pagan have opted just to leave it where it is. Let's see who's chosen well. Now, some of these oddments can be mixed, some cannot. I think the socks are able to be mixed but very little else. These competitors know what they can do, they know what they can't do, so they can't mix those full wool oddments with the second shear oddments.
Well, Mavis, I'm just down here watching Monica Portai. She's got a bit of wool on the ground, got a bit of wool on the table. Now, this is second shear, ladies and gentlemen, so all of the skirting or the processing is done up on the board. With the long wool, we had to throw it on the table, but this being second shear, it's all done on the board. So these wool handlers, I don't know how these two with wool on their table are going to get away with it, because they've still got wool on the table and these other wool handlers haven't. But like Mavis was saying earlier, it's all about your routine. See how you go, keep the pattern, keep it going, try not to panic. And at the moment, if I was these wool handlers, I'd be panicking. I'd be thinking, what the heck do I have to do to catch up with these other two, Mavis?
Yeah, but it is all about the plan. And Karen down here now has cleaned up under her table all her crossbred wool. The full wool has now been managed, handled, and set aside. So that leaves her free to simply concentrate on the next two second shear fleeces. You know, that's a bit of a mental lift. When you've still got some of those other fleeces, it can just play on your mind a little bit. So it's that strength of mind that these open wool handlers, these premier, creme de la creme competitors have. They know how to handle the pressure.
Excuse me, Mavis. Bevan Perry, one last call for Bevan Perry. We've got our Maori Pākehā team. You need to be here now, otherwise we're getting the next person up. Bevan Perry.
So back to the board we go. You can see also that with these second shear, it's a different way of preparation. And you might ask, why are we doing this? Why is this happening? We have farmers now with smaller flocks of sheep that often don't get the opportunity to properly draft the long wool out from the short wool. You can go to sheds still where they're bringing in mixed mobs.
Sorry, Mavis, we'll just cut in again. Ringa Paiwai. Ringa, are you still here? Does anyone know if Ringa's still here? Cheers, Mavis. Ringa, can you come to the announcer's desk?
I'm glad the wool handlers are all organised, not like the shearers by the sounds of it. Sorry, just saying. All right, so we're on to the last sheep for the second shear. This is when the pressure starts to come on. Has everyone got their full wool off the table, out of the way? Because once these fleeces are completed, these competitors will need to blend. And the reason why we blend is to make sure that it is a nice, even pile of wool. That even if there is a slight difference in length, that slight difference won't be recognised, that it will be well blended. You have a homogeneous, lovely clip of blended second shear wools. This second shear is seen mainly up in the central North Island. Not as much full wool up there. A lot of full wool on the east coast. Some over on the west coast, but a lot more second shear. Probably to do with weather, to ensure that the clip that they do get is white and bright. Just about ready for the turn off of the last of the second shear. Now it's 30 seconds. That's all they're given to get that blend.
The shakedown, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Shakedown going on. We've got to make a big mess, and then we've got to have to clean it up. What's the point? Well, the point is we want to blend all those fleeces into each other. These judges at the moment, they don't know where to look, because if these wool handlers shake the wool into their baskets, they're going to impede penalty points. It looks like it might be Monique. Oh, time for Kieran. Time for Cherie. Time for Monica. Well done, Pagan.
A lot of blood, sweat and tears lost in this heat, ladies and gentlemen. It's not for the faint-hearted. And we don't want them to be faint-hearted because these are the competitors that will be required to front up to the Australians. And they're mean competitors as well.
Okay, so these competitors will just put the wool in the fag.
Kei te mihi atu ki au koutou I tēnei wā, nau haramai ki te whare mahara, the Masterton War Memorial Stadium here in the beautiful Wairarapa. Hey, we're beaming live from the Golden Shears here, and we're getting through the Woolhandling finals, and it is now time we arrive at a shearing teams event, and our special guest this afternoon from the mighty Wairarapa Moana, Rangitāne me kahununu, Sonia Rimene. Tēnā koe te rangatira, hoa rangatira.
Tēnā koe, tēnā tātou katoa I te whānau o Wairarapa e ngā manihere ngā hauewha. Tēnā koutou.
Kia ora, kia ora. Hey, just a couple of pātai questions, and we're beaming live to the World Wide Web at the moment, so kei te aha Wairarapa Moana. Who is Wairarapa Moana?
Well, Wairarapa Moana comprises of two parts. One's the Wairarapa Moana Corporation, and that's the arm that drives the commercial business, and the other is Wairarapa Moana Trust, who provide the social elements. So Wairarapa Moana have been in the agricultural sector for up to 50 years. So one of our interests in supporting Golden Shears has been the pursuit of excellence in agriculture.
And is there some type of scholarship that you guys
Absolutely,
have?
it's a whānau. Now, if you're a descendant of Wairarapa Moana, we have a scholarship called Te Kete Uru Uru, which aims at higher level learning, and it's around, if you're anyone out there, te whānau, if you're doing agribusiness, agri-science, agri-technology, no mai haramai, please contact our Wairarapa Moana office. This scholarship is available now. It's open, and we are very supportive of growing our people in this sector.
Well, that's wonderful, wonderful, Sonia. Hey, and why get involved with Golden Shears?
Well, as I said, Wairarapa Moana supports the pursuit of excellence, and